even between exits 46 and 44. And we also have leftover road work out in East Hartford, Route 2, west between 5D and 5A. That should be off on the shoulder. And Route 8 in, let's see, that's Waterbury, northbound between 36 and 37, right lane. And in New Britain on Route 9, northbound side between 36 and 37. These all should be wrapping up within the next half hour to an hour. Let's check the forecast now. Meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Well, this afternoon, plenty of clouds around. There'll be a shower in spots. A cooler day, but humid, the high of 77. Tonight, well, it'll be humid and mild with periods of rain and a thunderstorm. The low down to 63. Wednesday, after a little morning rain, it remains cloudy and cooler still. The high peaking at 70 for Wednesday. Thursday, variably cloudy, still a shower in the area, a light breeze out of the east-northeast, a little milder too, the high moving up to 78. Now cooler on Friday, but it'll be humid with periods of rain. Some of it will be heavy at times. Thunderstorms also
Let me know
possible.
if you got
Watch
Ken.
for flooding
I don't know
on
if he's
Friday,
going to
the
call
high
in
of
exactly.
73.
Yeah, he's on.
He's on.
Saturday,
Okay, good.
well, it's going to be windy with periods of rain from the remnants of tropical rainstorm Debbie. Warmer and humid day, and again, watch for flooding, the high of 80.
Indeed he is,
Sunday,
White Mike.
partly
Indeed
sunny,
he is. We're
less
going to get
humid,
to him.
Still pleasant, the high of 82. Mostly sunny and pleasant Monday, the high of 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow's up 481 points, the NASDAQ ahead 282, and the S&P's up 87 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi.
If you just wash your ass, you wouldn't have this problem.
Control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond.
And people
Optimized to save
are killing off this Lumi D because people just don't want to take a bath.
if you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work
Someone
better than a shower
bottled
with
the
soap
whore
alone.
bath. That's
Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
Michael B.
There's a special
in the
offer for
house.
listeners.
We're going to have a
Use
lot of fun
code
today.
BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile,
Warm in it.
you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Northeast Men's Health, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
Should cities be allowed to be sanctuary cities?
Yes, local control. And I think seeing a plan that's out there, talking about it with folks, knowing that he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this.
A society that does not put equity and inclusion at the center of it is certainly going to eventually come to the places where we're at. This is a moment of inflection. It's a moment of real change. It's a moment that those folks who are out there demanding this are not going to take a commission or a support, they're going to want fundamental change. And that is what I think, that's one of the exciting things in the midst of all this. You can feel a sense of optimism coming back.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Rough. What's going on, all you folks out there? You know what time it is. It's Reese on the Radio, filling in for our good friend, our homie T Money Slice Grip, Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I think it's only appropriate to play the waltz for the waltz. Oh, man, that was a myriad of quotes coming directly from Minnesota, or, Governor Tim Walz, the governor himself. I'm getting to all of that in a minute. I will get into all that in a minute. But we have a guest on the phone who I got a call yesterday that he was going to be. I would have told you about it if it was during the show, but he called me after the show and he said he wanted to be on. He was a part of our 5 o'clock focus last week. And he gave me a holler and he said, "Oh, man, we had such a great weekend. I want to celebrate it and talk about it on your show." Ken from the Trump store, the official name is New England for Trump location in Vernon, Connecticut, is on the line. Ken, how you doing, big guy?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, as can everyone else. Ken is running the New England for Trump store that's on 154 Talcottville Road in Vernon, and it's right off 83. And you texted me yesterday after the show, and you told me that you guys were like gangbusters over the weekend, your opening weekend. Tell us a little bit about it. How'd it go?
Oh yeah, we were slammed. There was over 550 people here.
Wow.
We had a little picnic, and we had a small rally outside, and it was a good gathering. We had police here, firemen here, EMTs. We had all kinds of people here. It was outstanding, and people were coming from all over Connecticut that we were talking to.
Really? It's so funny because there was only a little bit of fanfare, a little bit of media about it. I know the Hartford Current covered it as we talked about it here in the 5 o'clock focus. Our 5 o'clock focus is usually asking the listener what they think about a particular subject. So he's like, how do you think New England for Trump will do in the Connecticut area, in Vernon? Because this is the first store, at least from you guys, in Connecticut. And we were asking what they thought, how well you guys would do, whether or not, people would reject it. And,
it's been open arms from everybody. I know the mayor is Republican here. He's pro-Trump, pro-America. And we were in Wyndham for a few years, but it's closer to Rhode Island. And I told the owners that I would find an outstanding place, and we have it. It is just nonstop. Even before I can open the door, there's people here.
And now, has there been a steady stream of people since we're not in the weekend anymore? We're like Monday, Tuesday now.
Stream. Yes,
steady stream. Okay.
Yes.
So I will admit, when I did the 5 o'clock focus on how well you would do, it was a smattering of kind of like moderate to, some people thought it would fail miserably. But it was like kind of, if I had to scale it from 1 to 10, they were giving you at best a 5.5, like how well you do. Because
I would give it a 8 or a 9 at this point. We had at least 15 Democrats in here that were talking with Channel 8 News, and there was 2 of them, I believe, on Channel 8 News that were Democrats that were they've had enough, and they're Republican now. But we had at least 15 people come up, shake my hand, because they know that I'm a Marine, and their nephews, whatever, are in the military, and they just see what's going on.
Well, listen, I just want to let you know, I love risk takers. If there's ever a risk, it's opening up a Trump store in a considerably blue state. But you guys, I think at this point, you can kind of read the tea leaves, as you just expressed. Even if Democrats are coming in and going, look, we kind of had enough and we're going in another direction, shows that the writing's on the wall, that there's a seismic shift in our politics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're looking the same thing that Ronald Reagan did, my commander-in-chief when I was in the Marines, and take California, and we can take Connecticut.
Well, you know what? It's a likelihood. New York looks like it's up for grabs, and, I don't know. It's like I said, it could be 1980, if not 1984 all over again. But we wish you luck. We're glad you're doing well. But please keep us in mind. You've got my cell phone number, so send me a text if anything interesting comes out. Maybe maybe even if you get a celebrity from the New England area, let me know see if we get a little bit of dirt. Somebody who we might want to take some interest. If you get Governor Lamont in, or maybe if like Chris Murphy comes by, just let me know on the sly, okay?
Definitely will.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ken.
All right,
Folks,
brother.
you
Thank
got it,
you.
man. Thank you for being a part of the show. Like I said, if you're interested, it's New England for Trump store. It's in Vernon at 154 Talcottville Road. Check them out, and you can look them up online. They are on Google. I actually checked this morning because I was wondering whether or not, since it was brand new, whether or not they had their Google stuff up. But they do. They're up and running if you're interested. Now, let's get into what has to be talked about, folks. And that is Tim Walz. And I've got to tell you, folks, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to go a different route. Not that I listen to anyone else's point of view, but I want to hear it from you. In my view, Tim Walz is a setup to destroy the Kamala Harris campaign. That is my view. Why in God's name did they pick this guy? There is no way that Kamala Harris, who, and if you don't mind, indulge me a little bit here, folks. I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why I feel in my bones that Kamala Harris's campaign is being sabotaged inside. Let's start off here. We know what Kamala Harris stood for in her 2020 campaign. She wanted to get rid of fracking. She wanted to get rid of the private insurance industry. She believed in a Green New Deal. She was voted the most progressive member of Congress. People did not like Kamala Harris. She had a lower vice presidential approval rating than Dick Cheney. Then all of a sudden, people talked about getting rid of her on the ticket if Joe Biden would run again for 2024. Remove her from the ticket. That she, in essence, was a drag. She was an anvil on the ankles of Joe Biden. And if he didn't get rid of her, there's no chance he's going to be reelected. They want to get rid of her. That's a fact. You all know what happened. Joe Biden was forced out. Then, in a little bit of a, sucker punch to all the people who got rid of her, he immediately endorses Kamala Harris, which everybody hated. I know the media hated it, but they had to show, the whole DEI thing. We got to support her. She's allegedly black. So they throw their support for him, but we don't hear anything from the Obamas. The Obamas wait almost a week before they give an endorsement, and they do it on a phone call, on a speaker. They don't do any video or anything. Still haven't. Don't forget that before the Obamas get on the phone with Kamala Harris, they release a statement, Obama does, and says he can't wait for the process to play out at the Democrat National Convention. In essence, an open and contested convention to find out who our nominee was going to be. But then Joe Biden, he throws a wrench in it. And the Obamas are forced to endorse her. We know that to be true. There's no speculation here. So, the Obamas forced that, fine. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, David Plouffe becomes the chief guy, the guy in charge of the Kamala Harris campaign. And many people raved about it and said, oh, David Plouffe, that's the guy who was the senior staff member. He was the senior campaign manager for Obama. That's such a good idea. Yeah, he's a winner. Bring him in. And I said, That doesn't make sense to me. Why would Pluff even join? He doesn't need to. Why is he there? Obama's didn't want to even put him, but now all of a sudden they're throwing all their weight behind him. I said, no, I didn't fall for that. And then it happened. Kamala Harris starts telling everybody privately, at least it's coming out, that she was changing her positions on all of these far left things. The website that said she was the most progressive, what did they do? They scrapped the article entirely. Kamala Harris's campaign starts leaking that she's changed her view on fracking, changed her view on the Green New Deal, changed her view on the healthcare industry. She's trying to tell everyone that she's a moderate, that she's made a considerable 180 in her beliefs. She wants to sound more like Donald Trump. And then they pick Tim Walz? While she's trying to run away from her record, run away from her beliefs, they grab the most far left ideologue ever. Everyone thought it was going to be Shapiro. Tim Walz was sure he was high on the list, but Tim Walz has baggage. And we're talking about considerable baggage, not just on his personal life. I'm not even going there. But everything about him can be, he's nothing more than, he's dynamite. He is active dynamite to the Kamala Harris campaign. This guy is a socialist. He so much as said so. How could a campaign that's trying to get as far away as it can from socialism, from being progressive, and have a guy who said this, not in the far distant past? This was what he said on a Zoom call with, 1,700 other white dudes for Kamala? Yeah, this is last week. Tim Walz, ladies and gentlemen.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
That's the biggest problem the Democrats have had. It was the reason why they would not, and they pretty much, they sabotaged the political career of Bernie Sanders. Because Bernie Sanders was running around calling himself a Democrat socialist. And if he became the candidate, that means the entire Democrat Party would have to stand behind the ipso facto, de facto leader of the Democrat Party. Bernie Sanders, he's the Democrat. He's the one, that's what he is, right? He's the titular head of the Democrat Party if he becomes the nominee. And then everybody has to go on board and say that they too are democratic socialists. The one thing Democrats are trying to steer clear of. Doesn't matter that they are. They can't tell the American people that they are, which was why they railroaded Bernie Sanders. And now, David Plouffe, the guy who ran the Obama campaign, who did anything and everything to try to shred any idea that Obama was a socialist or a Marxist, would come in and allow them to pick this guy? This guy, he's chum. Kamala Harris, she does any interviews at all, she's going to have to explain how anyone made this decision for her. Because I can tell you, bar none, folks, Kamala is too stupid to have picked Tim Walz. Her campaign is being run by everyone but her. She's incapable. You know this. This is not, even people who support her know, she's not that bright. She believes your data is in a cloud above us. Okay? You know this woman is dense. She can't in one breath try to embrace a moderate stance and grab this guy. No way.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
Should cities be allowed to be sanctuary cities?
Yes, local control.
I mean, come on. He said this, remember?
And I think seeing a plan that's out there, talking about it with folks, knowing that he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this.
The guy who actively says, now remember, this is all out there. This is all vetted by Kamala Harris's team. While she's got a problem trying to distance herself from the border wall, she picked a guy. We're supposed to believe she picked a guy who said that he would invest in a ladder taller than the border wall to help people get in illegally. They chose this guy. And you're trying to... This is being done on purpose. They don't want Kamala Harris as... They don't want her as the nominee. They are killing her campaign. And I said this months ago, if not a year ago. They want to destroy Kamala Harris's political career. They wish to. And this is a way to do it from the inside. Sure, Obama's people all in there pretending, oh, don't worry, Kamala, we've got your best interests at heart. She's too blind to see it. Wow, Obama gave me his number one guy in his campaign? Yeah, we're going to win this thing. Mark my words. Mark my words. This is being done on purpose. This is a banana in the tailpipe moment, folks. Believe you me. I know we're being duped. We'll play a lot more of this because there's so many pieces of audio. You got to hear the craziness his wife was talking about. Tim Walsh's wife, Gwen, you got to hear the craziness that young lady was talking about. It's through the roof insane. These people, she couldn't have gone more far left in a vice presidential pick than if she had resurrected Karl Marx. That's how bad this is. This is before your eyes. That's what's happening. She's being sabotaged. I don't feel bad for her. Don't get me wrong, but we'll take your calls. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk a little bit more about this, and, of course, your phone calls. And I've got a great 5 o'clock focus today. We might even do it early. It's Reese On The Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier.
You are clear.
Raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do?
Yeah, I think that's my point. Pastor Willie, I'm incredibly happy about this, but it's insane. But White Mike, the crazy part about that whole thing is that National Guard story, that's another one. Like, you don't need that when the Democrat Party has been trying to nail Donald Trump about the growth or the spurs in his feet. You bring a guy who's a Dodger, essentially, for the National Guard. Like, this guy, everything about him is dirty. The whole DUI thing, lying that he was deaf, doing 96 and a 55. Like, all of this is like, this guy's, everything about him is horrible.
73-3077. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3077 now to secure your 1904P $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3077.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. The most important decision I'll make all day.
And what could be better than two of your favorites for $3.99? Like the McDouble, McChicken, or 6-piece McNugget. So stop in for twice the delicious. Price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
And now, a WTIC news update.
74 degrees, 3:30. I'm John Silva. Tim Walz is the choice for Vice President Harris as her running mate. Harris made the announcement earlier today, called the governor of Minnesota, and asked him to be the number 2 on the Democratic ticket. They are expected to hold a rally later today in Philadelphia, then hit the road on a barnstorming blitz across 7 battleground states. Reaction from the Republican ticket, Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance called Walz a choice that highlights how radical Kamala Harris is. State police on the lookout for suspects who dumped thousands of dollars on an eastern Connecticut highway during a pursuit. A person was spotted tampering with an ATM at an I-395 service area Monday morning. The suspect was also seen looking into parked vehicles at that rest area. He ran across the highway, took off in a black BMW SUV. Several items were tossed from the vehicle, among them a backpack, police say, that contained $52,000 in cash. Meriden police have made an arrest in a shooting from 5 years ago. It was August 5th, 2019, that officers say 28-year-old Traquan Ford allegedly shot up a vehicle on Gravel Street. The person inside was not injured. Ford is already behind bars on unrelated firearms charges. A man is charged with dragging a person whose car he tried to steal. This happened last month at a fast food restaurant on Pleasant Valley Road in Manchester. Victim noticed what was happening, tried to intervene. That person sustained injuries, and now Benjamin Ingram is facing charges. Tropical storm Debbie has brought prolonged downpours to the southeastern U.S. and could hover over the Atlantic Ocean over the next few days and boomerang back onto the mainland and perhaps impact our weather come the weekend. Here is meteorologist Jason Caterino with the forecast.
For this afternoon, lots of clouds with a shower in spots. Cooler, but still humid, the high of 77. Remaining humid with periods of rain and a thunderstorm tonight, the low down to 63. Wednesday, a little morning rain, otherwise cloudy and notably cooler still, the high of 70. Thursday, variably cloudy, we'll have a shower in the area. Milder, the high up to 78. Then Friday, humid with periods of rain. Some of it will be heavy. Thunderstorms as well. Watch for flooding, the high of 72. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
A bounce back day on Wall Street. The Dow up 562 points. The Nasdaq's up 307. And the S&P is up 97 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dirris & Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dirris & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and realize that every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Visit us at bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Jennifer Osborne, General Manager at Saxon Engineering.
As an assembler, distributor, and welder of hoses, fittings, and pneumatic and lubrication components for industry, Faxon depends on their computer network. Jennifer explains why Tab Computer Systems was tasked with maintaining that network.
We were looking for a company that could better support us before we had an emergency.
And if an emergency happened?
You're looking at the person who would put her IT hat on, but I have no IT experience, so we really needed somebody else to take on the role for us.
Tab is there when Jennifer needs them.
When we have an emergency and I'm picking up that phone, we're getting a call back super quick.
Summing up her experience with Tab,
their attention to customer and the customer needs has been wonderful for us.
Making a change like Jennifer? Call Tab today. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB, the numeral 4, H-E-L-P. Or visit tabinc.com. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, this is Mike. And at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet arch support system.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. And maybe that's the reason all those remedies you tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're gonna feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet.
Come in today. We're located in Avon at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
Arnold D'Angelo, known to listeners as Arnold Dean, was born in Wethersfield. And after attending Syracuse University, he worked in New York before returning home in 1965 to work at WTIC as a staff announcer. In the 60s and the 70s, he hosted several popular music shows, including The Plaza Show and The Dean's List, where he played big band music. Arnold's Sunday Showcase highlighted music from Broadway and Hollywood, but most remember Arnold Dean as the Dean of Sports. He was an absolute pioneer in sports broadcasting. In 1976, Arnold began hosting WTIC's Sports Talk, the first call-in sports talk show. We could never name all the accolades he earned in the sports world, but he was honored multiple times by both the Connecticut and National Association of Sports Broadcasters and was inducted into the Connecticut Sports Hall of Fame in 1997. Fun fact, Arnold was also on the Ranger Andy Show, a children's show on WTIC TV3. Christino Kitchens is proud to sponsor this WTIC moment in history. 35 years of experience in remodeling, Christino Kitchens can transform your bathroom or kitchen with stunning beauty as well as functionality. Visit ChristinoKitchens.com.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey now, we are back. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. With, of course, my road dog, Roland, providing the beats.
Oh, man. Change my name to DJ Rowe.
No doubt. We're going to take all of your phone calls in a second, but don't forget, folks, please, whatever you do, you don't want to miss today's 5 o'clock focus. It is that somebody's got to explain it to me, and I got a companion story for it, and it is something that Connecticut has to chime in about because it affects you. So stick around for that. Like I said, I will talk about it. I think the 5 o'clock focus may have to be a half an hour early, and I will break it down when we get to that, and I will bring it up right as we come from the top of the hour. You do not want to miss this at 4 o'clock. We'll get into phone calls again. I want to just play this because nobody, with all of the stuff that's out there about the vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz, and I understand everybody's pronouncing it Walz. It's Walz. Nancy Pelosi said this on Morning Joke, which I couldn't stop laughing at.
So we'd love to hear your first reaction to the
choice of Tim Walz as Kamala Harris's running mate.
Good morning. Wonderful to be with you all. Tim Walz is wonderful. And she had many good choices among the 6 and certainly among the 2. I'm a big fan of Governor Shapiro. Tim Walz, I know very well. He served in the House. To characterize him as left is so unreal. It's just not what the question. He's right down the middle. He's a heartland of America Democrat.
And then Nancy Pelosi proceeded to cut off everybody's internet to keep them from searching this guy, to searching anything about him. Tim Walz, down the middle, you say?
A society that does not put equity and inclusion at the center of it is certainly going to eventually come to the places where we're at. This is a moment of inflection. It's a moment of real change. It's a moment that those folks who are out there demanding this are not going to take a commission or a report.
This is him talking about BLM rioters in the Twin Cities. This is him capitulating to the rioters in the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis. This is the guy who told the police department at the 3rd Precinct to not only stand down, but to vacate it and give it to the rioters. This guy, down the middle? This guy. You kidding me? To the phones, 860-522-WTIC. Ken's in Newington. Hello, Ken. Thank you for holding, sir.
Yeah. I don't know why we're wasting so much time on the other side, if you will. Trump has a record as president for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
We have the numbers, statistics of what the situation was for the economy in this country when he left office versus what they are today after 3.5 years or whatever of the other clowns that moved in after him. Okay, that's all. And but let me finish, please. I'll give you a chance to take a break because you got to calm down. But the fact of the matter is, Biden can't deliver.
Right.
Harris couldn't deliver. And this other guy ain't going to deliver either.
Let
them dig their own grave. There's no reason for us to spend time on this.
But I'm spending time on it, Ken, for the obvious reason. I'm telling you, for the obvious reason. As an analyst, hear me out. As an analyst, right? This is a campaign that everyone for the last, 20 days has been telling us.
Your listeners aren't ignorant. They can
No,
Ken,
relax.
Okay?
Hold on, Ken.
I'm relaxed, but this is getting irritating.
Well, then,
okay?
Ken, with all due respect, you know what you can do about that. I apologize that you're getting irritated about it. But as an analyst, I'm going to talk about it.
You can do too. Okay, I'll let you go.
Thanks, sir. Much appreciated. Wow, he's just angry. Do the show the way I want you to. Now. Let's go to Mark in West Hartford. What's going on, Mark? You are Reese on the Radio.
Well, he left one name out. You know who else isn't delivering?
Who's that?
It's Ken from Newington. I told you last week, if you offered me an envelope of cash to mention something, why is he listening?
I don't.
This would be like me, hoping, I'm not going to bring up names. I'll do that on Friday.
It's like hoping Kamala Harris would actually defend her record.
I don't even. That's a confusing call to me.
It is
2 days in a row. He
it
waited
is.
over the weekend. Did he lose sleep over that?
I know.
Call from Friday. So
I don't
listen,
know.
Okay, let's not waste time on.
Yeah, let's move on. So you sent me a couple.
Listeners.
You sent me a couple of things about the in the Minneapolis school district, the chronic absenteeism rate was 54% in 2022, and that's up from 21% in 2019 under his watch.
And I'd like to tie this in because this is what the socialist Democrats do.
Mm-hmm.
So these cities, this is going on across, Hartford is at about 50%. I didn't realize Minneapolis is higher, and I'm sure some other inner cities are even higher.
Right.
But anyway, so isn't it funny? Like, what do they always present when it comes to education? They're always concerned for one thing.
Oh,
they're concerned about their food
yes,
consumption.
feeding
so
them.
This guy was one of the only governors to propose. I think there's only 4 states. I don't know how many now.
Right.
They're going to give you free breakfast and lunch regardless of income.
Yes.
That is one of the most socialist programs. So I picked these 2 things because I don't know anything about him. I heard he's a socialist. I heard he's going to give away the farm if
Without
he
a
ever had
doubt.
chance to give away. And so this was something I could relate, not for me, but hopefully your listeners are listening.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he's not worried about getting kids to school, but he's worried about feeding the kids. But he's also, you got to remember, and this is what people don't understand, just like empty school buses, they have to have seats on the bus,
That's
regardless of who they pick up or they don't.
They
have to have enough food for breakfast and lunch.
That's
They
right.
don't take orders like in the hospital. Like, what are you going to want tomorrow for breakfast?
Right.
They're going to have, so that means what happens to the 54% of the product, and they usually subcontract these out. These contractors are laughing all the way to the bank.
Right.
Because they're probably doing their own little calculations of what they're
They're
actually
supplying food.
So
they're
they're gonna
supplying food that no one's going to eat, but they're still sending the bill.
Yeah, well, they're sending the bill, and so they're actually probably making it for the 46% going.
Right.
But who's going to oversee that? So I guess now we're getting lost in the weed on that. But that's just a little thing to show us just how much of a socialist he is.
Oh, without a
More
doubt.
than half the kids aren't going to school.
Oh, listen,
and
we
you wanna
didn't.
feed and this is the entire state.
But Mark, we didn't even
make
get.
sure this is all of Minnesota.
Mark, we didn't even get.
Breakfast and lunch.
We didn't even get to the fact that driver's license for all was a legislation that he passed. Don't forget, this is also the guy who said free sex change for anyone who wanted them in the state. So he's a sanctuary state for a gender mutilation, right? So I mean, this guy again. This is my point: is that you know that the DEI woke establishment of the Democrat Party is being rejected on every front. Kamala Harris has been telling people that she's a moderate, and she picks her vice presidential candidate who is all in, we're talking waist deep in DEI policies, and Nancy Pelosi's trying to sell us the idea that this guy's a moderate, that he's down the middle American.
So, Reese, I asked you this, and maybe we finally found one.
Yeah.
We have yet to find a DEI representative in the private sector, but I guess we'll count him in. But this is going to be the first, because I said we'll never see a middle-aged white guy in charge of DEI, but I guess we are.
Yeah.
I guess I got to, at least in government.
He will
this
be.
This is what I said. You'll never see that guy. You'll never see a Waltz in the private sector.
No.
But look, we're going to see him in government.
Well,
what a joke.
Look, first of all, he's never going to see the light of day. This was absolutely campaign destruction. That's what all of this was. This was nothing more than campaign destruction. They are setting this woman up to fail. You cannot fool me otherwise. Thank you, Mark. Let me get to this audio, because this is my favorite one coming up. My pleasure, man. This is my favorite. This is Gwen Walz talking about criminals. How many chances should they get? Criminals. This is her, in her own words.
And having a chance every day. Like, how many chances do you get? My answer to that is as many chances as you need, which doesn't really please those law and order people.
As many chances as you need. So it doesn't matter what you do. As far as the Waltzes are concerned, you get as many chances as you could possibly need. This guy is a moderate? She went straight after. She said the law and order people are not going to go for that. This is a woman. I can't remember what her name is. But this was after the riots in Minneapolis. This is one poor woman talking about what happened to her city and her town after they burned it down. Destroyed everything.
30 seconds.
Oh, I can't play it now. That's right. I have to go to. That's right. We're almost there. I'll play it when we return. Listen to this poor woman and what she had to endure is some of the most incredible audio you will hear. We'll get into that. Stick around. More news, more views, and please don't forget the 5 o'clock focus is going to be early. I really want to hear from you today. And we'll talk a little bit about yesterday's conversation with Allison Cross. I've got an idea that I want to propose on the air. All right, all that. More news, more views. Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, fantasy football fans, do you want to be the owner who was doing a cram session the night before the draft? I didn't think so. You need to start your prep now. This is Faraz from Upper Hand Fantasy.
Yeah, before you played it.
For your fantasy football draft.
Say again?
Insights and
Got you before they press play.
bust. We've got you covered. And give
I had
you
to
the
press.
upper
Oh,
hand on
I
your
had to
bets.
press play.
Today
No, I said I had to catch you before you
Oh,
pressed play.
yeah. No, good
Join
move.
us and stay ahead of the competition. Follow and listen to Upper Hand Fantasy on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Men, though it really does go without saying, practicing better medicine almost always means better outcomes for patients. And if you suffer with erectile dysfunction, you certainly want a good outcome. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And because we do practice better medicine, we're the leader in treating men's sexual health issues in the Northeast. ED is a terrible condition. It causes stresses in relationships. It creates anxiety and undue hardships on a man and often on their partner as well. Yet many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But I want to tell you today that you can be free of ED. Seriously, if you're like most men, the treatments we offer at Northeast Men's Health will work for you. In fact, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means you can likely enjoy great sex again without the stress that ED can create. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For eligible
Minute.
only results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 and select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
Reese on the Radio, making sense of the news. Even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, I'm going to have to go through these real quick, fast, in a hurry. I'll take the calls first. I'll play this I'll play the audio clip in the next hour. Let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Fred is in Middletown. Hello, Fred. You want to Reese on the Radio? Fred? Sir? Okay. No, Fred, for some odd reason, he might have himself on mute.
He's on. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he may be on mute. Anyway, let's go to Jerry, who's in Bloomfield. Hey, Jerry, you want to Reese on the Radio? How are you, sir?
Hello, Reese.
Hey.
I did not hear all of your initial monologue at the top of the program.
Yes, sir.
I heard you saying that they were setting up the Harris ticket for sabotaging it.
Yes.
I also agree that it's horrible. It's a nightmare for them. It's a blessing for us.
Right.
But I'm just distrustful, knowing that the Dems will do anything to keep power.
Right.
I'm wondering. My question is this: what is the sabotage that you see? What's going to happen? I see two possible scenarios. I wanted to know if you agreed with either one.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is the upcoming convention. Things are not necessarily signed, sealed, and delivered.
Right.
There could be some kind of revolt, or else things get later on in the election season. Things get so bad in the polls that they pull some kind of an event, a la 2020.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A strong likelihood that the left and especially Democrats could do whatever it takes, like sort of like to go full bore on making some sort of disruption or distraction. What I truly do believe, and again, this is from everyone I've talked to, the objective here is that 2028 is what they want. They believe that J.D. Vance is a weak candidate after Donald Trump. They think they could beat him. It's Gavin Newsom's 2028 is Gavin Newsom's race to lose. That's what they have their sights on. The fact that Ezra Klein was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to find the audio. Ezra Klein says he talked to plenty of Democrats who quietly say that they are okay with Donald Trump winning because he's only a 4-year candidate, right? He's only a 4-year elected official. And 2028 is their sights. They do not believe, in fact, they're saying it privately to Ezra Klein. They do not believe that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. They just say that because they want to win. They don't believe that they're going to win, and they're going to give up the 4 years under the Trump administration and focus their efforts on 2028.
They're going to give up 2024?
Right.
That sounds a little bit a bridge too far for me.
Yeah, listen to me. It sounds crazy, but 2028, remember, once Trump is done, right, Democrats believe that we've got no other person on the bench after Donald Trump that they have to concern themselves with. They understand the power of Donald Trump. They don't think that there's anybody else after him who could possibly keep the momentum that he has. That's why they think it's an open play in 2028.
Okay.
All right.
I'll accept that. I'll mull it over. Thanks.
You got it, sir. Thank you. I know I'm never going to get to everybody else, so please, I beg of you, if you can, just hold on until the top of the hour. I know it's a lot, but let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher in our first traffic of the day. How we doing out there, Mark?
We're doing okay, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. And if you are in travels toward Hartford right now, on the southbound side of I-91, a little delay getting by 33 Jennings Road. Northbound 91 moves well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 94 a little slow, Bulkley Bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound is tied up, 46 up into the tunnel. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Quiet Waterbury 84 and 8, 95 South New Haven slowing from 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
WTIC weather. Well, this afternoon, plenty of clouds around. There'll be a shower in spots. A cooler day, but humid, the high of 77. Tonight, well, it'll be humid and mild with periods of rain and a thunderstorm, the low down to 63. Wednesday, after a little morning rain, it remains cloudy and cooler still, the high peaking at 70 for Wednesday. Thursday, variably cloudy, still a shower in the area, a light breeze out of the east-northeast. A little milder, too, the high moving up to 78. Now, cooler on Friday, but it'll be humid with periods of rain. Some of it will be heavy at times. Thunderstorms also possible. Watch for flooding on Friday, the high of 72. Saturday, well, it's going to be windy with periods of rain from the remnants of tropical rainstorm Debbie. Warmer and humid day, and again, watch for flooding, the high of 80. Sunday, partly sunny, less humid, still pleasant, the high of 82. Mostly sunny and pleasant Monday, the high of 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson. I hope you'll tune in to listen to my show every weeknight at 6 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. I'll break down the news of the day, everything from national politics down to the battle at the local school board. I'm not going to give you the party line, no predictable red meat. I'll give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and what's going on in this insane world. I hope you'll join me. The Eric Erickson Show, weeknights 6 till 9 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080 and on the free Odyssey app.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 74 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is Vice President Harris's choice for a running mate. Ashley Etienne is a former Harris Communications Director and a CBS News political contributor.
What Walz brings to the table is not just his breadth of experience from being a military officer to a former teacher to a chairman on Capitol Hill to a governor, but also his ability to go into these battleground states, the suburban areas, the rural areas. That's the 1% to 2% that's going to make the difference in this election, and he speaks their language.
Reaction from the GOP. Tickets number 2 from CBS's Linda Kenyon.
J.D. Vance has plenty to say about Tim Walz.
My view on it is it just highlights how radical Kamala Harris is.
Speaking to reporters ahead of his own campaign rally in Philadelphia, Vance said it's clear Walz and Harris are tracking together.
This is a guy who's proposed shipping more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to make the American people more reliant on garbage energy instead of good American energy, and has proposed defunding the police just as Kamala Harris does.
And Vance called Harris and Walz an interesting tag team. Lindy Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Back here, top state Democrats are expressing their enthusiasm for the ticket. They held a press conference in downtown Hartford today. 5th District Congresswoman Johanna Hayes reacting to claims Walz may be too liberal for the ticket.
If the metric for being too far left is feeding children and protecting women's reproductive health and protecting labor and LGBTQ rights and making sure we have stronger gun safety legislation, then I think that's just about the right place for me and most of the people in this state.
Hayes says she's ready for a tough election battle of her own, a rematch with Republican George Logan. State police are investigating after they say suspects tossed $52,000 in cash onto a highway in eastern Connecticut during a police pursuit. WTIC's Morgan Cunningham reports.
Troopers received word a man was seen around 11:15 in the morning Monday, tampering with an ATM machine and looking into parked cars at the I-395 northbound service plaza in the town of Plainfield. When troopers showed up, the suspect darted across the highway and went into a black BMW SUV with Pennsylvania plates that was parked at the service plaza on the southbound side of the highway. Troopers tried to stop the SUV as it sped out of the parking lot and went down the highway, but they gave up due to the dangerously high speeds. During the chase, however, a backpack containing $52,000 in cash, a mobile hotspot, and an iPhone were thrown out of the SUV. So far, the investigation has shown the same BMW was in the area Monday morning at different times. If you know more about the suspects or that BMW, you should call Troop D in Danielson. You can find photos of all that at WTIC.com. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Federal mental health officials say a new report highlights that more work needs to be done to address the mental health crisis among young people in the U.S. CBS's Matt Piper.
The CDC report looks at the behaviors and experiences of high schoolers nationwide and comparing 2021 to 2023. CDC Dr. Kathleen Ethier says the report found a decrease in the number of girls saying they were depressed, as well as a decrease in black youth attempting suicide.
I think some of it is coming out of the pandemic.
Leon, what's up, baby? How are you?
People to the sources of support in their communities and in their schools.
But on the other end, 16% of girls and nearly 20% of LGBTQ teens said they skipped school over safety at or on the way to school. Matt Piper, CBS News.
And this report from the Summer
What's up,
Games,
Michael A?
Sponsored by Middlesex Health, a smarter choice for care.
CBS Summer Games. Here's Wendy Gillette.
The U.S. women's soccer team battled Germany in the semifinal, both going scoreless in the first 90 minutes. But in extra time, Team USA finally got a goal from Sophia Smith.
No one.
The final game is Saturday. All eyes are on the women's 200-meter final on the track. Americans Gabby Thomas, Brittany Brown, and Mackenzie Long are all competing and could put up a 1-2.
All right, let's find out whether or not Fred's good. And we got Lori in Glastonbury, right?
They'll have to contend with St. Lucia's Julian Alfred.
Yep.
Okay.
meter a few days ago. In the men's 400, all three Americans moved on to the final. In women's volleyball, the U.S. moves forward after the team's quarterfinal match against Poland. The U.S. won in straight sets. Earlier today, 18-year-old Sam Watson of Dallas set a world record in his heat in speed climbing. The men's quarterfinals, semifinals, and final will all unfold Thursday. I'm Wendy Gillette at the Summer Games in Paris, CBS News.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
WTIC News Time 4:05. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. A bounce-back day for the markets on Wall Street. The Dow finished up 294 points. The Nasdaq gained 166, and the S&P was up 50.
That's not much of a bounce.
For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you ready to...
1 minute.
I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, acidified body wash,
And
sweat control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Look, folks, do not doubt me. If you listen to the top of the hour news, you hear these people talking about, it's like, oh, if you think it's far left to do this, they're not happy about this pick. But to Jerry, if you're still listening, Jerry in Bloomfield, I wanted to play the Ezra Klein clip for you.
No one who I speak to off the record believes Biden will win. And virtually no one will say that on the record.
Right.
And, maybe the people I talk to are a kind of selected group. But John Heilemann, the chief political correspondent of Puck, has said the same, more or less. Said
Throw me on the pile.
Jonathan Martin, the incredibly well-sourced chief political columnist of Politico, has said basically the same. The crew at Punchbowl News, who used to write Politico's playbook, they have said basically the same thing. We're all kind of having the same experience here. So how might you kind of square the circle? A Democratic Party where top Democrats believe that if Joe Biden is on top of the ticket, he will lose, but also are not coming out and calling him on him to resign. I think there are a lot of ways to say it, but I think one thing that is being revealed is it on whatever they believe intellectually, viscerally, they do not believe Donald Trump is an existential threat to American democracy. In some ways, one of the views on this that I found both strangest, but in a weird way I respected it, it's Jared Golden, right? The congressman from Nebraska. I'm sorry, of Maine, published an op-ed in a Maine newspaper saying, look, Joe Biden is obviously going to lose to Donald Trump, but he shouldn't be replaced on the ticket because it's completely fine that he's going to lose to Donald Trump.
That's all you need to know. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center. Thank you for giving me that hold. Let's get to Mark Christopher. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you, Reese. And good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading toward Hartford right now, good ride coming into downtown, 84 eastbound, just some slow traffic, 46 into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slowing Bulkley Bridge, the 47 Sigourney Street, 91 southbound, little delay by 33 Jennings Road. Northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 looking good east of the river, 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Middletown looks good, 9 in the area. Good Bridge, Waterbury slightly slow, 84 eastbound, approaching exit 18. South 95 is tight in New Haven, 46 down to 44. And we're seeing some slow traffic now. Southbound Parkway as you move between 60 and the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway, some delays from exit 58 up to 59 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of the afternoon and into the evening, warm and humid, passing shower or two. And as we head through the evening and overnight, periods of rain and a thunderstorm. We do have a flood watch out in effect for much of the region until tomorrow morning. The overnight low down to 63. For our Wednesday, a little morning rain, otherwise cloudy. Much cooler, the high only 70 degrees for us. Thursday, variably cloudy, a shower in the area. It'll be a little warmer, the high up to 78. Friday, periods of rain, some of it heavy at times. A thunderstorm as well. We'll have to start watching for flooding as the remnants of Debbie start moving up the coast, bringing potential rain into the day on Saturday as well. Right now, New Haven at 79, Danbury at 82. It's 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Deb. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
I'm Jan, Deb's sister. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
Okay, but I said it first.
It's more than food. It's my Big Y Rewards.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if I told you your home movies are all
Mom, and
time? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Reese on the Radio. Let's get back to the phones. For all the folks that were held up after the break. Fred
Style and grace.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. Fred in Middletown is on the line. Fred, do we got you now?
Yeah, you got me.
All right. How are you doing, sir? Sorry about that little mix-up earlier, man, but thank you for holding on.
Oh, did you go to me?
I did. It's okay. It's okay. We got you back.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. You were too quick for me. No, that was on me. Sorry. So the first thing is this Friday's airing of grievances is going to be some appointment radio for me. Having caught Mark's call where he was talking about the people who, when he tells them it's going to be $25K for the new bathroom, they're like, "What? $1 million? I only need $3 million for the house. And I got to say $1 million?" And this is after walking past $250,000 worth of cars in the driveway.
Indeed.
But so Friday, he said he gave you a heads up. He's going to air his grievances about 20 years of Connecticut radio.
Media,
hosts.
sure.
Oh my God, I can't wait for that. That's going to be some appointment radio.
That man is right now. He is like he's with a pad and pen going through every grievance he could possibly have. I may have to carve out 10 minutes for him. I'll try not to.
Oh, please do. I can't. wait.
No. Fred, do you believe as I do that they're setting up Kamala with this far left pick, Tim Walz?
Well, I hadn't thought of that. Here's real quick, I would say that's like the 5th stop on a 10-stop train.
Yeah.
The last stop, as far as I am concerned, I don't do a lot of thinking. I find people I can trust, and then I kind of take their word on it.
Okay.
So there's this chick, Shannon Joy, who I get like most of my political and otherwise juice from these days. She's on the AM radio.
Yeah.
She says that Trump is the New World Order's pick. They want him, and they can work just as well with him or Harris, and he's a total Trojan horse. And to quote Tom from Harlington, his favorite quote is, every collectivist revolution in history has ridden in on a horse of emergency. We have at least 2 or 3 pending emergencies that are just ready to drop. Financial, and of course the border. So whoever it is that declares the big martial law, and if you remember, the lockdown, which was, the shot that dropped us, it started with Trump, and then Biden finished it.
Well, I mean, that was, you know what, I've heard that before, and I kind of agree, but there's some pushback on that. I remember there was the immediate response was, we got to find a way to keep it from spreading from person to person because it's an airborne virus. Maybe we need to get everybody in the homes. I get that. But once we started to realize that that was absolutely unsustainable, he immediately pushed back on that. He was making that clear. Now, I believe that Donald Trump responded out of fear. That's always been my big problem there, was that you have all these people who are in the rooms are supposed to be smarter than him. They obviously know this better than him. And he doesn't want to be the guy who's responsible for millions, if not thousands of deaths. He doesn't. You don't want that happening. You get caught up in that. So like I said, even though it may have been a mistake, I understand the reasoning. Maybe I'm giving him too much of a pass. I'm willing to even say that.
Isn't he sticking with it, though? I mean, which is a human thing. It's easy to stick with your mistakes. I do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just one other thing. Okay, an existential threat to American democracy. Democracy is an existential threat to America.
Indeed it is.
And my politics, right? Yeah, all right. That's all I got. Thank you.
Not a problem, Fred. And thank you, man. I appreciate you holding on. All right, let's get to Lori. Lori's on hold. Thank you, Lori. Is in Glastonbury. How are you, ma'am?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. What's going on?
So I unfortunately didn't catch your monologue at the top of the hour at 3 o'clock. However, I can't help but think that, yes, this was a prime pick, perfect, doubling down on the progressivism, all of that. But if Trump would just stop stepping on his own rake, I feel like that it would really set us up even more so than we already are for potential success in November. And what I mean by that is stop going after Kemp. Let's just focus on strictly the issues because I think we could win on that. And I don't understand what the thinking is for him to continually be stuck in the past and not focus on the future. I realize his ego is the size of Canada. However, and I appreciate his policies, and I'm sure Ken in Newington, his head is exploding right now.
Right.
But I appreciate Trump's policies, but I'll be honest and say, when the assassination attempt happened, I really hoped it was the beginning of a new Trump, one that would be much more careful and measured with his words, and quickly that flew out the window.
But hold on. There's something to that you're talking about. So, okay, 2 things that you mentioned, Lori, I want to address, and I'll go with the first, the one you mentioned, and that was going after Brian Kemp in Georgia. Right? Why is he going after him and Rafflesberger? I forget how to pronounce his name. But why does he keep going after them? Now, in the media cycle, what's happening in Georgia is not on everyone else's. It's not on your news feed. You actually have to investigate, you have to search for what's happening in Fulton County, Georgia right now. And if you were...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, so if you did right now, if you go on X right now or Twitter for that matter and actually look up the actual process of what's happening, what we're finding out about votes in that county, over 300,000 of them, I might add, that there are no signature verifications for. That's what he's addressing on a wider scale that he knows is getting no attention. So the reason why you know about it is because Trump's talking about it because the news media is ignoring it. And Trump has always had success with that. By him talking about it, the news media is then forced to either rebuff it or to analyze it. So that's what he's doing there. The thing about the assassination attempt and people wanting him to be a different way, right? For him to be, I don't know, maybe a kinder, gentler Trump afterwards. I almost feel like had he shown any capitulation to that attempt, that I believe, or maybe even he believes, that would have opened the floodgates to people to think, oh, we got him. This is what he responds to. We'll give him more of that. That's what Donald Trump, and again, maybe that's me. He's a Queens guy. I'm a Queens guy. And my personality has always been, if they catch you slipping, they'll keep coming. Right? So if immediately he starts to turn around and they say, oh, so the shooting made him a kinder, gentler guy, let's shoot him some more. And again, it's a weird thing, but I know that as a guy, that's just the way that I am. I cannot show them that any of that affected me. I have to stay who I am. I got to play, I got to leave the dance with the girl I came with.
Okay. And all of that sounds entirely logical, and I'm on board. But are you with me on just hoping that he stops stepping on his own rake?
Yes. No. And I get it. Trust me. Don't get me wrong. I am not one of these guys who just like everything Donald Trump does is great. I condemn him and characterize him as sometimes, I wouldn't put it as brilliantly as you did, because I think it does sometimes he gets himself into a little bit of a fray that's unnecessary. Right? He'll start a war that he knows the media is hanging on every word that he says. And if he has one slip up, that becomes the narrative.
So, and one other quick question, and then I'll
Yeah,
go.
sure.
But what is the talk that people are saying that Vance is not a strong candidate? Who are these people that are saying that?
It's one of those things, Lori, I'll tell you exactly what this is about. If you keep repeating it enough, it becomes the truth. That's all. That's all that is. Just constantly repeat it over and over again, and then it becomes the facts. You don't need, if you repeat something over and over again, the repetition almost creates the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah. Yeah, no, fair enough.
Okay.
Well,
thank you, Lori.
so much.
I appreciate it. I love it when you call. Let's go to Joe is in New Hampshire. Hello, Joe. What's going on? You're on Reese On The Radio.
Hi, Reverend.
What's going
on? A good day with the stock market yesterday and today?
Man, you have no idea, because I was singing your praises while talking to my wife when we were driving back to the house. And I said, oh, she goes, so where should we invest? So I had to go back and I had to go listen to you again immediately after. Talk about now you got to tell everybody here. What was the bellwether? Like, what was the indicator for you? Was it, everyone is saying because of the jobs report. You were reading the tea leaves before then, weren't you?
Well, yeah. I was in the UVIX many months ago, and it wasn't really working out. It was going sideways, and it would go down because the market kept coming back up. And the reason why, I'll tell you the backstory on this. The reason why the market kept going up in recent weeks, months, is because Biden was tanking and everybody figured Trump was going to win the election, and that was great for the stock market. So the stock market is always looking months ahead. The prices you see today are really a leading indicator for what's to come, not today.
Right.
But as soon as Biden dropped out, things became worrisome.
Right.
It was like, and of course, the press, the media starts giving Harris, oh, everything's turned around. Now she's got a small lead.
Right.
She's got a small lead. And that upset the markets. And once I saw that, I knew I had to get back into the UVIX.
Let me interject here, because on July 22nd, is his name Charles Gasparino? What's his name? From
Charlie Gasparino.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good analyst.
He is. He's really, really good. On July 22nd, he was talking about how there was rumblings in the markets. Once Kamala Harris became the nominee, people were saying, sure, we'll donate to her, but they weren't feeling good about the market because they knew that she would hurt the market, and that's when the sell-off began. but no one wanted to say anything.
Now today, everything, the dead cat bounce was 10 times what it should have been today, but I'm going to give you some inside scoop here before I finish this.
Is this
sentence.
legal? Is this legal?
Oh, sure. It's common sense more than
Right.
anything. I didn't hear it from any. I do my own research now. So I was expecting a bounce to the upside today, but not like we got. And that was
But it was right. It was only 240 points. Is that a good jump?
Well, it was up 570
Right.
a day.
I do remember that.
But they came out with her running mate announcement.
Right.
And that was mid-afternoon or early afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at the market today. I got out yesterday. I made a tremendous profit. It was up 80% for the day on top of 40% for Friday. And I went in at $6.20 a share. I got out at $19.70. It peaked at $19.90. So I more than tripled my money in a few days, but free trading days. But I'm looking at the close today as an indicator whether I should get back in.
Uh-huh.
And if you look at the chart today, the market was way, way up, not far from its high for the day. And 3:45, there was a massive sell-off. In the last 15 minutes today, it's not going to show on the final tally because it's still up for the day.
Right.
But the S&P, which is what I follow, that's
Right.
what all the hedge funds follow, the S&P. The S&P at about 3:45 was up about 85 points. It finished up 46 points. There was a massive sell-off in the last 15 minutes that was disguised by the fact it was still up 46 points for the day. In the aftermarket, it's down a few. I'm thinking the sell-off is going to resume.
I was just
as
about to
early as
ask.
tomorrow.
So we'll see another
Yeah.
sell-off tomorrow. But are we going to? Do you think it's going to be worse or something moderate?
Oh, it's going to end up. It's going to end up far worse than yesterday. But here's the underlying thing besides all the nuances.
Uh-huh.
You were asking me about what happened in 2008. It was the housing market. They were giving out mortgages to
Right.
pet animals and lap dancers. If you watch the movie The Big Short,
Right.
you know, he went into a strip club to do some research because he saw a stripper had multiple mortgages, and she introduced him to all the other dancers. They all owned 2 or 3 houses each because the realtors would go in there with the mortgage company brokers. This was in Florida.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're all watching the dancers, and they get in on the scheme, and they're all leveraging. So he knew there was going to be a massive sell-off. This was in the summer of 2008 before September. But what's happening now, it's not houses anymore. You want to take a guess as to what's about to make all the banks fall apart with big losses? It's not home mortgages. You want to take a guess?
AI?
No, credit cards.
Oh,
I've done
that's
my
right.
research. At the beginning of this year.
Oh, that's right.
The average person maxed out to start this year was about 36%, which was very high. End of June, that 36% had gone up to 68%, maxed out, and they're going to default. Banks are going to have to eat it. And the other thing, people
Joe,
that
I gotta-
pay off their credit card.
I got to leave it there because I got a hard break going on. But thank you. You're absolutely right. Credit cards. Why didn't I not think of that? You're 100% right on that. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Credit card debt is through the roof, man. I'm telling you, I'm underwater in some case. Not that bad, but I'm barreling. That's all I could do. What's going on, Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, that's why I don't have none.
Yeah, I love you people who don't need them.
My wife has one. She got one, and she almost 10,000 in the hole. I said, see, that's why I don't have it, man.
Yeah, you know
asking
what?
me to help her pay it off. I'm like,
listen.
I can't help you spend none of that.
Listen to me. Give it to your wife. 10,000 is not as bad as a lot of people. That's moderate.
Yeah, I know.
That is moderate.
Slowing, approaching 46 into the downtown tunnel. 291, 384. That looks good east of the.
Got a.
Okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge.
With Cash App. That's all I need.
84 eastbound, tight by 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound, slowing by 3 in Danbury. If you're southbound 95, look for slow traffic 56 to 55 in Brantford. South 95 again, tight 46 to 44 in New Haven. 91 southbound delays 3 in toward the 95 interchange. Southbound Parkway slowing 60 down to 59. Northbound Parkway delays 58 up to 59 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
WTIC weather.
Well, this afternoon, lots of clouds with a shower in spots. Cooler, but still humid, the high of 77. Remaining humid with periods of rain and a thunderstorm tonight, the low down to 63. Wednesday, a little morning rain, otherwise cloudy and notably cooler still, the high of 70. Thursday, variably cloudy, we'll have a shower in the area. Milder, the high up to 78. Then Friday, humid with periods of rain. Some of it will be heavy. Thunderstorms as well. Watch for flooding, the high of 72. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a
Damn, Jeff.
WTIC news update.
Roland, Jeff in the chat room said, I was underwater for most of my life. He said he finally paid his off
4:30, good afternoon.
50
I'm John
years
Silva,
later.
WTIC 1080.
Golly.
74 degrees. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is
Yeah, I don't want them problems.
fit to be your running mate.
I paid off my student loans and I paid off the credit card I did have, which wasn't nothing but like $1,200 or something.
Yeah.
And then I had a K Jewelers. I paid that off and I cut everything up.
Storm expected to hang around the Atlantic.
Rama said
coast
Ben
and could
Shapiro said
impact
that
our
Trump's
area
a hammer
with
in
remnants
search of a
later
nail.
this week. Scholl is facing
He said
charges of
he hits
impersonating
one,
police
but
officers.
sometimes he
State
hits a
police say
baby.
74-year-old
I love that.
Francis Dembowski allegedly used his town-issued vehicle with emergency lights to conduct motor vehicle stops. He's free on $1,000 bond. Oysters shipped to retailers in Connecticut from Lewis Bay, Massachusetts, should not be consumed, sold, or served at restaurants. The FDA is out with a warning saying those oysters are contaminated with bacteria that could cause illness if eaten raw. Manchester police have charged a 39-year-old town resident with the theft of a motor vehicle and other offenses after he allegedly dragged the owner of said vehicle, who was at a restaurant that saw Benjamin Ingram apparently trying to steal the vehicle from a Taco Bell on Pleasant Valley Road. And Taylor Swift has earned 10 nominations for the MTV Video Music Awards. 8 of them are for her Fortnite video with Post Malone. The VMAs will be held in New York on September 10th. Wall Street, the Dow is up 294 points. The NASDAQ gained 166, and the S&P was up 53 today. Red Sox and KC, 7:10 the pregame here on TIC tonight. Yanks and Angels have already been rained out at the stadium, and the Mets are in Colorado to take on the Rockies. Eastern League, Yard Goats back at it at Richmond, 6:35 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind-in-payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Feel like everything's
minute.
out? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit. free.
Got it.
Explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for
You got George in St. Louis.
800-790-1400.
Oh, he's going to
800
hate on me. He's going to hate me right now.
This
I can't
is
take him.
Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Fine.
Coming right in.
WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio. And, folks, I normally wouldn't do this. I would wait for the 5 o'clock, but I know that the phones are going to ring off the hook for this one. So today's 5 o'clock focus is going to start early. What are we going to do with Eversource and the price gouging? Because that's what it is. This is price gouging. This is through no fault of your own. Eversource is going to charge customers a crap load of money for something they had nothing to do with. If you paid your bill, not if you took a subsidy, if you paid your bill went up. And something has to be done. And this old sort of, I'll never forget this story. 2009, Brooklyn, New York. They had spent an entire year telling the people in this Brooklyn town, or I guess in Brooklyn altogether, conserve water, save water, bathe together. This whole campaign. And a very liberal, very progressive Brooklyn took note. And they did exactly that. They saved water. They did. They did what they were told. You want to keep the price down? Yes. You want to save the environment? Do that. And they did. And sure enough, after a year long of people doing exactly what they were told, they got their bill. And their bills were through the roof. And people couldn't understand why. Wait a minute. We're saving water. We're not using that much water. Why are our bills going up? And it turns out that the water company wasn't making any money anymore. Because, of course, with lower water use, this came lower water costs. And they lost money. And so instead of taking the loss after they told everybody, don't use the water, they had to make up for it by punishing their customers. And Eversource is doing that now. Did that request come from Biden? No. Is this before? No. It's 2009. So this was that constant theme about trying to get people to save. Now, don't forget, this administration, the Ned Lamont administration, this is the same administration that wants to turn everything electric. And now everybody's complaining, no matter what stripe you are, by the way. They're complaining now, going, what the hell is going on? What do you mean because you gave a subsidy to all of these people? And they gave the subsidy to just anybody. Didn't matter how much money you made. Everybody got it. It was a free lunch program for the entire state. And now they're reeling from it. And Eversource thinks that they can just get away with it and just charge everybody. Well, my question is, what can you do about it? Do you have to eat it? Do you have to just take the L? We'll talk about it and your phone calls. Please explain it to me. What are you going to do if your Eversource bill went through the roof? 860-522-WTIC. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, very good ride. I'm not seeing too much difficulty getting around right now. If you are traveling on the southbound side of I-91, some slow traffic between 33 and 32, and then you'll hit another slowdown again from 25 S&N down to just about exit 23 in Rocky Hill. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulky Bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound, you've got delays. 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84, okay, east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury, both sides of 84, a little slow as you approach the Mixmaster. And if you're heading down and toward New Haven, 95 southbound, got slow traffic between exit 46 and 44. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Well, looking at the radar, we've got moderate to heavy rainfall in a line all the way from New London along the South Shore right over to New Haven and then down to Bridgeport and Stamford. So if you're traveling in any of those areas, be aware there is some very heavy rain A front lingering over the area tonight, tropical moisture moving up the coast, and an area of low pressure riding along that front is going to bring some very heavy rainfall at times tonight. So expect periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Could lead to some flooding in some areas. Do be very cautious. Please turn around, don't drown, never try and cross flooded out areas. The low overnight only down to 63. Then as we head through our Wednesday, a little morning rain, otherwise cloudy and quite cool for the month of August. The high only 70 degrees. Variably cloudy, a shower in the area Thursday, the high up to 78. Friday, periods of rain again, some of it heavy with a thunderstorm. Watch for flooding as the remnants of Debbie move up the coast, and we get again some periods of rain during the day on Saturday. Could lead to some additional flooding, the high of 80. Then a much drier day on Sunday, the high of 82. Currently, it is Waterbury at 73. It's also 79 in New Haven and 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
Columbia Dental has a special gift for you. Visit their Manchester office at 483 Middle Turnpike West on Sunday, August 18th between 12 noon and 7 p.m. for a free dental cleaning. First come, first served. Celebrate with a bright smile at Columbia Dental.
At the Carter Mario Law Firm, we've recovered over $1 billion for injured people. When you need someone to fight for you, you need to get Carter in your corner. Visit getcarter.com or call us at 877-GET-CARTER.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
And what could be better than two of your favorites for $3.99? Like the McDouble, McChicken, or 6-piece McNugget. So stop in for twice the delicious. The price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Retirement can be scary if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien High Efficiency Tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the Radio.
Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. To the phone lines we go in a second. Increase in many July Connecticut electric bills has customers furious. One woman says, I was shocked. Talking about a 25% increase, but some people are seeing their bills skyrocket from $800 to $1,000. Some people have gone from $85 to $132. There have been so many people who have seen, like, they thought they were only going to see like an $8 a month increase. But of course, they feel like they were lied to. So what do you do? In fact, this one customer says that their bill went from, or their kilowatt bill went from $32 to $132 in 1 month. And it seemed like that's not much of anything. But again, what can you do? Because Eversource, in essence, this is an unforced error on customers. They chose to give electricity away, or at least in this case, have people not pay their bill for a considerable amount of time. Didn't matter who they were. And now to make up that loss, they're just throwing it at customers who may not have, flinched on their bill. That's insane. How the hell do you reconcile that? Let's go to George in St. Louis. This is right in his wheelhouse. Hello, George. What do you do when your electric company comes for you to this degree?
Well, your electric company is screwed up. I don't know any other way to put it. My electric bill for July, $216.
That's more than what I
There's a
pay.
$9 metering fee, $168 on peak. That's 1,200 kilowatt hours. $40 off peak. That's 300 kilowatt hours. That's around 1,500 total for the month of July. Here's what's going on with EverSource. Your energy mix is screwed up. They went wild with climate. They went crazy with climate change and
Right.
probably retired a bunch of their coal-fired plants.
Also true.
I can give you Ameren's mix. They're about 55% coal, 25% nuclear, 9% hydro, and I don't know what the rest is, but that's cheap power.
Right.
Coal runs about $25 a megawatt hour, nuclear about 13, hydro about 9. If they went with renewable energy, and they probably did, that's over $90 a megawatt hour. $90 a megawatt hour. That's at least 3 times what our energy mix is. Also, what is it? Combustion turbine generation? That's about $80 a megawatt hour.
So all they did was, in essence, because of the policies of this administration, and of course, we're dealing with a company that's out of Boston as well as in Connecticut. So in essence, they went full renewable. They knew this was going to cost more. It wasn't like they weren't warned. And now, after giving away electricity to just anyone who would take it, now they've got to make up for that money. They've got, their bottom line is hemorrhaging. They've got to pass it on to the customer.
Well, here's what else is going on. They probably retired a bunch of old power plants at EverSource. So you end up buying power from other neighboring utilities. That is cost plus 10%.
Wow.
So whatever they're generating at, which is, if they have power that was made at say $50 a megawatt hour, they're charging you 55.
Yeah.
So that's screwed up too. In other words, they're not independent anymore. The reliance is on they're purchasing power from other
sources,
utility companies.
Thank you, George. Let me move on. I want to get to some other people because I've got the lines lit up. Thank you, though. I knew you were perfect for this question as soon as I saw you on the line. George, another George is in Vernon. Hello, George. You're on with Reese on the radio.
Yes, this all happened under Republican Governor Rowland, who deregulated energy back in the so this all happened to Governor Rowland, Republican, and this all happened while he met with Enron in New Hampshire at a big conference, and he got duped into making all this happen. And look at Enron, and look at us now.
So wait a minute. So you're saying that what happened in the last couple of years with
The last couple of no. What happened in the last couple of years is a effect of.
Oh, you're saying so you're saying that when they gave everybody a pass on paying their bills during the pandemic is a product of Rowland.
No, you're wrong.
No,
what I'm telling you.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. I can't be wrong because that happened, George. Did it not happen? Did they allow anyone, hold on, did they allow anyone to skirt paying their bills during that time? Like, it didn't matter how much money you made. Doesn't matter whether or not you could pay your electric bill. Did they allow just anyone to shirk their responsibility of paying their electric bill for a considerable amount of time? Because what we're hearing now is that the reason for this increase is because of that policy.
What I'm saying is that deregulation came back in the 90s from Governor Rowland, Republican governor, meeting with Enron, thinking that they're going to control the
George, I don't understand the correlation, because if you're suggesting that it took over 30 years for Eversource to apply this rate increase to its customers, I'm finding that difficult.
Well, think about it.
I mean, I am thinking about it. I'm listening to your reasoning.
Yeah, no. Think about the reasoning then. There's no regulation. It's everybody's on their own. Look at Enron.
Okay, George, maybe I'm maybe I'm not following. Maybe I am. Maybe somebody else can back you up on this one. Let me go to Rudy in Florida. Hello, Rudy. You're on with Reese on the radio. Am I off?
I don't have much. I don't have much because I don't want to piss off the minions in the chat room like Fritz. But this vice president candidate, Tim Walz.
Yeah.
You know Harry Sison, that little boy that runs around, he's like 20 years old, saying how great Democrats are on social media?
Yeah.
He's raving about a military leader as our vice president pick. Well, Mr. Tim Walz fabricated his military service.
That's one.
Trump or Kennedy come out, because I haven't heard anyone talk about this.
Nope.
So he served 20 years in the Minnesota National Guard and the Nebraska National Guard.
Yep.
He made it to first sergeant in his unit. They were missing a command sergeant major, so he became the acting command sergeant major.
Right.
This happens a lot. You'll get a corporal that ends up being a platoon leader because there's no E5 sergeant available.
Correct.
Especially in combat. This man never served in combat. He has 2 ribbons on his chest that are given to anyone that serves 4 years and over 10 years. That's all he earned.
Right.
He didn't do anything. So he got into Command Sergeant Major School, which is a 2-year program if you're in the National Guard, because it's a correspondence school, and then you have to do residency on active duty at a base.
Right.
If you're on active duty, it's a full-time school, like for a year.
Right.
So he's halfway through this program, never been to combat. Lo and behold, his unit gets orders to go to Iraq.
In 2005.
And what does Mr. Vice President Walz do?
He bails. He quits. He doesn't even bail. He quits.
On his whole brigade. He quit on 15,000 soldiers. And as a result, he got booted out of Command Sergeant Major School, which he lists on his Wikipedia page was his rank. He didn't even get retired as a first sergeant. He got demoted to master sergeant. So he's lying about his service. He's lying about his rank. And I think one of the reasons he's in there is to counter Vance, because Vance is actually a decorated veteran.
Exactly, which is why, Rudy, you are making my case. I didn't even get there yet, because trust me, I'm going into that tomorrow, because I have so much stuff about that.
Can you tell the chat room that I provide valuable information?
Oh, no. You are, listen, it's okay. What you are talking about is exactly my point about why this guy's being sabotaged. With everything that they've been trying to attack J.D. Vance about, they bring in this guy who's got a checkered military record. Why would you do that?
Blumenthal looked legitimate with his
comparatively, right?
Not only that, he treats the Minnesota National Guard like crap.
Yeah, it's again. This is my point. It's like this, especially the military service
would hurt. This administration. Let me tell you this. I've been under VA healthcare for a while. It was terrible. Even under Bush, it wasn't good.
Right.
Trump made it a lot better.
My wife said that too.
More than 50 minutes, I could get seen by a doctor if I picked up the phone and called and said, my appointment, I'm being held a half an hour late. Within 5 minutes, 3 people were saying, let's get you back to the doctor.
Yeah.
Now you wait an hour again. Now I got to look at Biden's picture in the lobby. Now I got to look at them being short-staffed. They used to have 5. They lost half their staff because of the mandatory COVID shot.
Yep.
There used to be 7 lab techs at my clinic, and they'd bring 10 of us back to draw our blood. Now you wait 2 hours because there's only 2 people working.
Yeah.
If Harris and Walz get in there, the veterans are going to be screwed. And we know how many more veterans we're going to get because the draft is coming. They're going to get us into a war.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot more mess. But this needs to get on the.
Oh, no. Trust me, exactly, because trust me, it's trending everywhere about his military service. We'll get into that as well.
Scream it loud and far.
You got it, sir. Let's go to Bill in Rocky Hill. Hello, Billy. You're on. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'd rather have a bottle in. Oh, that was last night. Hey, listen, real quick. From what I understand, the state said they couldn't shut anybody's electricity off.
That's right.
And they have $1 billion in their bank.
That's right.
Why can't they help out and help with the situation?
Take the L.
I'm not saying I'm knowledgeable about this, but we caused this ourselves, and they're trying to get their money back.
Yeah, well, yes, but look, what my point is, it's sort of like the student loan debt issue, right? It's like we're going to give a pass for all of these people who couldn't pay back their student loan. The person who's going to pay for it is somebody who probably couldn't even get into college, right? It's like I couldn't afford to go to college. I couldn't afford to send my kids to college. Now I'm paying the college tuition of a kid who can't pay his own college loan. So now it's like, I'm already feel like it sucked. My life sucked enough that I couldn't give a college education to my child. They had to work hard and go to community college. Now, all of a sudden, after that kid goes to community college, now I got to pay for a kid who went to an Ivy League or probably a top 10 school in my state. What the hell is going on? It's ridiculous.
Right, but isn't electricity more important? Like, we need it every day.
Oh, I know we need it, but listen, the point is that when you give that stipend, right? And I think to a degree, it's sort of that, or even an incentive. You say, hey, we're not going to cut off anybody's electricity because times are hard and people are working and, people can't work, or some people can, or they have limited resources. I understand it, but we're not cutting anybody's electricity off. And then after that, you come back to them, and it doesn't matter whether or not you did take advantage or not of that, that agreement or that opportunity. You're still going to have to pay more. So I'm thinking it's unfair because I'm saying, no, during the pandemic, I was a essential worker. I still got a paycheck every day. I still paid all of my bills because I didn't want to be in arrears. Maybe I didn't take advantage of the program. Now you're telling me because some people did take advantage of the program that I'm on the hook for their usage of your power after I've already paid for my usage. And I think that Eversource here should be saying, look, let's go down the line to the people who did pay and immediately excise them from this, from whatever this increase is. We got to get them out of this because I think it's only right. These people paid their bills during hard times. They shouldn't be further punished for it. If I'm Eversource and I want to at least do something redeemable, that's what I would do. But to make everybody pay for something that they gave under the impression or under the guise that they were good guys in all of this, and then turn around and do something as underhanded and charge people for this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They've got to find a way to make this right. In fact, I would expect Governor Lamont to go to Eversource and say, you're not going to gouge my citizens for something they did not take a part of. If he was smart enough, he'd step up and do that. But I haven't heard anything as of yet.
Or he could spread that $1 billion out a little better.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Or you know what? Pay your own damn bills.
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Solar,
That's it. I hear that. Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to take a break in a second, but we'll get to your calls. We've got Joe in Simsbury and Matt in Bristol when we get a chance. We'll talk a little bit more about this. The 5 o'clock focus. What should Eversource do? And if Eversource won't do anything, what's your option? What's our option if Eversource is going to be charging? I mean, is there I almost feel like there's nothing that anybody can do. They have to take it on the chin. Unless I don't know, what are you going to do? Just use a generator? Like, what do you do? Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. And if you are southbound 91 coming into Hartford, just a little slowdown by 32 A and B. Northbound side of 91 moving well. Primal through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Security Street. 84 eastbound, some tight traffic. Approaching 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound delays, Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound, Waterbury slowing, moving in toward the Mixmaster. If you're heading in toward New Haven, 95 southbound delays, 46 down to 44. And southbound Parkway a little slow between 60 and the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For this afternoon, plenty of clouds around. There'll be a shower in spots. A cooler day, but humid, the high of 77. Tonight, it'll be humid and mild with periods of rain and a thunderstorm. The low down to 63. Wednesday, after a little morning rain, it remains cloudy and cooler still, the high peaking at 70 for Wednesday. Thursday, variably cloudy, still a shower in the area, a light breeze out of the east-northeast, a little milder too, the high moving up to 78. Now cooler on Friday, but it'll be humid with periods of rain. Some of it will be heavy at times. Thunderstorms also possible. Watch for flooding on Friday, the high of 72. Saturday, well, it's going to be windy with periods of rain from the remnants of tropical rainstorm Debbie. Warmer and humid day, and again, watch for flooding, the high of 80. Sunday, partly sunny, less humid, still pleasant, the high of 82. Mostly sunny and pleasant Monday, the high of 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, baseball fans, you can win tickets to a Boston game with the Thomaston Savings Bank Player of the Game contest. Just listen when we announce the player of the game during the 7th inning stretch. That'd be during the break in the middle of the 7th inning during every game broadcast on WTIC. Then tune into Brian and Company the following morning at 8:10. Know the player of the game, be the correct caller, and you'll win a pair of tickets to an upcoming game in Boston. It's the Thomaston Savings Bank Player of the Game contest, only on WTIC. News Talk 1080. WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration.
I'll be right back.
All right. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock Hartford temperature, 73 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Vice President Harris will campaign with her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, today in Philadelphia. Reporter Mark Fry is in Minneapolis.
Governor Walz left his residence this morning after learning he'd been chosen as Vice President Harris's running mate. Minnesota U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar is praising the vice president's choice.
He really understands not just urban metro issues, but rural Minnesota, and now has done a great job as governor.
Former President Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, says the pick is typical of what Harris stands for.
This is a guy who's proposed shipping more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to make the American people more reliant on garbage energy instead of good American energy, and has proposed defunding the police just as Kamala Harris does.
Back here in Connecticut, the top Democrats are lauding the choice. Senator Richard Blumenthal.
He is a champion of American values, hard work ethic, commitment to teachers and education, commitment to veterans and to public service as a way of life.
Blumenthal and other top state Dems held a pre-scheduled news conference in support of Vice President Harris. They gathered in front of a downtown Hartford mural, which includes her portrait. Naugatuck's emergency management director is facing charges of impersonating a police officer. Stems from an incident in which 74-year-old Walter Dembowski allegedly pulled a motorist over back on June 3rd. Dembowski drives a town-issued Chevy Tahoe with lights and a siren. A complainant stated that he pulled him over on May Street, flashed a badge, then proceeded to issue a lecture on safe driving. Dembowski denied activating the lights and siren to Naugatuck police, saying he did yell at someone who cut him off. The case was turned over to state police. Troopers say Dembowski has been investigated in the past, but it was determined he didn't break any laws. In their investigation into the June incident, the Tahoe was seized over concerns evidence could have been destroyed. Additionally, Dembowski is facing charges of evidence tampering and breach of peace. He's due in court August 20th. Tropical storm Debbie dropping copious amounts of rain along the southeastern Atlantic coast. In South Carolina, the mayor of Hilton Head, Alan Perry, is advising motorists to stay off the roads and stay home.
We've had anywhere between 10 to 14 inches of rain over the past 24 hours. And what that does is saturates the ground. And when the winds start to come through, trees could be falling, and now is not a time to be out on the road.
At least 5 deaths have been attributed to the storm. Meriden, among the many cities and towns across the country taking part in National Night Outs this evening. The goal, a nationwide event to improve relations between police officers and the communities they serve. Meriden Council of Neighborhoods President Holly Wills explains other missions as well.
Anti-crime, anti-drug awareness, and also for our community to get out to meet our officers in a different venue than if you had called like a 911 call to them. It's really building relationships with the neighborhoods and with our police department.
Now, the event runs until 8 this evening. It's been moved indoors at Platt High School due to the threat of rain. Now this report from the Summer Games, sponsored by Middlesex Health, a smarter choice for care.
CBS Summer Games. Here's Wendy Gillette.
The U.S. women's soccer team battled Germany in the semifinal, both going scoreless in the first 90 minutes. But in extra time, Team USA finally got a goal from Sophia Smith. The gold medal game is Saturday. All eyes are on the women's 200-meter final on the track. Americans Gabby Thomas, Brittany Brown, and Mackenzie Long are all competing and could put up a 1-2-3 finish after Jamaica's Sharika Jackson pulled out because of an injury. But they'll have to contend with St. Lucia's Julian Alfred, who won the 100-meter a few days ago. In the men's 400, all three Americans moved on to the final. In women's volleyball, the U.S. moves forward after the team's quarterfinal match against Poland. The U.S. won in straight sets. Earlier today, 18-year-old Sam Watson of Dallas set a world record in his heat in speed climbing. The men's quarterfinals, semifinals, and final will all unfold Thursday. I'm Wendy Gillette at the Summer Games in Paris, CBS News.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. Compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Wall Street, the Dow finished up 294 points today. The NASDAQ gained 166, and the S&P was up 53. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You know, pain from arthritis is bone on bone, constant pain. It can rob you of so much of the stuff you love to do, but there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Brian Shackman here. There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief, and the place to go is QC Kinetics. They use cutting-edge treatments. They accelerate your own body's healing properties.
Oh, there you go. I got a short.
Move again. If you're living
Of
with chronic
course.
pain, whether it's from arthritis or injury, you need to know
There it
steroids and
is.
surgery and pain pills are no longer your only options. Learn how QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility,
May
and
have
give
to
you
change the
long-term
cord
relief
on
with no
here.
downtime. These guys have made thousands of people happier. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, they're ready to help.
You sound astronomically louder.
Yeah, I'm probably because I fixed the darn thing. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
440 pain. It's QC
So I was
Kinetics.
probably
They're
on
in
a
Avon, New
short.
Haven, and Glastonbury. And that number one more time.
Here we go.
So
All right.
440 pain.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
It's an interesting thing. And government's now involved trying to understand or at least break down how customers are going to respond to this. If you didn't, what if you did? You paid your bill. You shouldn't see this increase. Now everyone's got sort of like a bill going forward that they want legislation to happen afterwards. What about now? This is the one thing I always I get involved in this. I don't want to, but I start ripping government when they start reacting to things. What are customers and families going to do now? Not legislation. You guys will take forever bargaining and negotiating while people actually are, being billed into extinction. This happens all the time. This is something that people are going to need a relief for now. We're in August. It's going to be the hottest month ever. Got to do something now. I don't want to wait until the next session. Come on, people. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher to get real results on the roads.
All right, thank you very much, Reese. Well, if you're heading into Hartford, westbound side of 84, you're looking at delays east Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you're tied up 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. South of 91 is a little tight, 33 to 32 A and B. Northbound side 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. 291, 384, that's in good shape as you move east of the river. Now, if you are traveling into the Middletown area right now, that looks pretty good. No major problem. Just a little slowdown northbound by the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury's okay, 84 to 8. 91 southbound, a little tight as you move in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. 95 southbound New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, looking at the radar, we've got quite a bit of shower activity all along southern Connecticut right now. So do be aware if you're going to be out traveling, you may run into some rain, heavy at times, and that could lead to some ponding on the roads. As we continue through tonight, again, periods of rain and a thunderstorm with the front lingering right nearby the area. Some of that rain could produce very heavy downpours and lead to some flooding issues with us as we head through the overnight. The low of 62. As we head into our Wednesday, a little morning rain, otherwise cloudy and notably cooler and cool for August with the high of 71. Thursday, remaining cool. It'll be variably cloudy with a shower in the area. Quite pleasant, though, with that high of 75. Friday, again, the high of 75, but humid with periods of rain, some of it heavy thunderstorms as well as the remnants of Debbie make their way up the coast. Watch for flooding, the high of 75 Friday. Saturday, windy periods of rain again from Debbie as it continues to make its way through. Watch for additional flooding possible, warm and humid with the high of 80 degrees. Currently, it is, New Haven at 77. We've got New London at 73. It's also 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. Allaire Elder Law met my #1 goal when I decided to work with them, to make sure my parents and their assets were protected legally so they can enjoy the rest of their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories. And our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at AllaireElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Don't look now, but this year is half over already. Before you know it, your holiday guests will be at your doorstep. Didn't you have big plans to make over your kitchen and bathroom after last year's plumbing issues? Who needs that embarrassment again? Modern Plumbing Showroom has all the beautiful fixtures you'll need to impress your guests this time. Don't wait any longer. Visit us today on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
For eligible individuals. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 and 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
And we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. The 5 o'clock focus is Eversource. Bills through the roof. People are concerned that they're not going to be able to pay their bills and they'll be forced out of their homes. Because, of course, with the surging heat and these bills going up for the next 10 months, we're talking about an increase in the next 10 months. And the numbers, at least the rates, are 25%. Some people are seeing even more than that. No matter who they are, whether you paid your bill or not, you're going to see that increase in your Eversource bill. And a lot of people were warned that this was going to happen. Look, once legislation gets involved, that means it's going to take a while. And the question is going to be, what do we do to subsidize those who are at risk of not being able to pay for these bills or this increase? We'll get into that. We're taking your phone calls. Let's go to one of, I think, probably the most salient people who call on the show. Joe in Simsbury is on the line. Hello, Joe. You're on Reese on Radio. How are you, sir?
Hi, Reese. Thank you very much. So I actually called Eversource yesterday, had a nice conversation with the
the customer, customer service agent, and I could tell that she was not for it. And she said some things to me that led me to do my own research. And there's a lot of information out there about what this charge actually is.
Okay.
So this on the bill in the far right, there's the public benefits charge.
Right.
For example, in my house, every month it's been around $10 to $11, and this month it went up to a total of $60.
Wow.
So from 10 to 60, that's a 5 or 6 fold increase on that.
Right.
But the public benefits charge is actually, and I went on the internet, so it covers the cost of state and federal mandated programs that support energy efficiency, renewable energy, and financial assistance. So it's made up of 3 parts.
Right.
The first part is public education, hardship, and other societal costs. The next one is conservation and load management for energy efficiency programs. And the third one is a renewable charge to promote the growth and development of renewable energy. So, first of all, it's not all about, and I thought it was all about paying
off
people who freeloaded
Right.
during COVID.
Right.
But there's a lot of other stuff in there. And the bottom line of this is that none of this stuff are things that Eversource is allowed under our state government to be able to just say, hey, we're going to go with this additional charge here. They've got to put through everything, because I said to her, my understanding is that this might last about 6 months. And she said, no, her understanding, what they're telling her is there is no end date.
Really?
And if you look at what I just said, there really is no end date.
Right.
Because these are mandates, and there's other things like George from St. Louis goes nuts on, the renewable energy stuff.
Right.
And we were actually warned by Eversource about this.
Really?
When the Democrats in our state put this through.
So
they said we're going to have no choice but to raise the rates, and nobody really thought about it back then, and now they're thinking about it. So I don't know what the rules are with Pura, which is involved with rules and rate making, or
But Joe, let me interject here, because it sounds like from your research, right? These, what was it, three different pieces of legislation. One is like they are doing a little part of the people who freeloaded, but the other 2 are more or less about education and renewable energy. So if I'm getting this right, and tell me if I'm based on how you're laying this out from what you've learned, that in essence that Eversource, or maybe even our elected officials, have found a way for the American people, or in Connecticut in this case, and in Boston, to get them to fund a Green New Deal. Is that what I'm gathering here?
100%.
Okay. So that's all this
Public
is.
hardship thing is going to continue. It may reduce potentially because of all these people that didn't pay during COVID, but there's still a lot of people out there who say, yeah, I'm not going to pay. Someone's got to pay for it. And rather than Eversource pay for it, then the people who use Eversource will end up paying for it.
Right.
But the rest of it is more focused, as I look at it on the internet, having to do with energy efficiency and green energy initiatives.
And the beauty of this is what I'm seeing about the bill, and this is interesting because everyone has been posting about it online, because like this one that they have on Connecticut, NBC's Connecticut station, one of the bills they have, it says public benefits, and it's $53.45. I saw someone else's bill on that public benefits, and it was as high as $95. So it all is based upon the increase of the public benefits is based upon your usage. Am I getting that right?
That is 100% right.
Okay.
The public benefits charge is dependent on energy usage.
Right. So in essence, you use too much energy, you have to pay in more into this boondoggle that is the Green New Deal. This is being financed by the American people. Aside from their own tax dollars, now they're taking you out of pocket right at home.
Yep. And when, people are running their air conditioners now, and let's say October, because we have Indian summer in September, people will still run it. In October, you'll see a drop a little bit in the public benefits, but not a lot, because again, you're paying for. Oh, the other thing that the Eversource person mentioned to me was she mentioned Millstone, which is part of covering for public benefit and energy production. But this is heavily oriented to exactly how you put it, that we are financing the Green New Deal.
Yeah.
So everyone should, not be, there are people that are saying, the Eversource executives, they got their bonuses, they're happy. Well, when you look at the number of how much money's coming in new on this public benefit stuff,
yeah,
it
dwarfs it, yeah.
These bonuses,
yeah.
It's not about the bonuses, as distasteful as some people may find that. It is about the Democrat Party in the state of Connecticut doing this, and Eversource warning, okay, you could do it. We're happy to do it, but the prices of people's bills are going to go up, and they did.
Insane. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Joe. I always depend on you because I know you're reliable, sir. Thank you so much. KB is in the chat room. He says that my monthly energy bill went from between $1,200 and $1,800 per month, and he's all the way in California. KB says that. Thank you. Let's get to Matt in Bristol. Hello, Matt. You're on with Reese on the Radio.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, Matt. What's going on?
Well, like always, Joe is right. I was just going to call and remind everyone, too, that for a year, Eversource was running these commercials about a free program to come make your house more energy efficient. And right at the end, they go really quick, paid for by a fee on your bill. And they were running that for over a year.
That was, wait a minute, that was on the liner note? The liner note was like, this is made possible by a fee on your bill?
Yep.
Holy
absolutely. And they were running that for over a year. And so I knew that was coming. But I actually called, what's the vice president pick for?
Tim Walz.
Kamala?
Tim Walz.
What is it?
Tim Walz.
Tim Walz, yeah. I've been mad since this morning because when I hear these people talking about DEI, it gets me so angry because why do they never give up their job to a minority?
Yeah.
It's always for thee, not for me. And I've been angry about it all day.
I don't blame you.
He's too important to give up his job, but everyone else needs to invoke DEI, but not for him.
You know, like I said, I know this guy. We're going to get into its military story tomorrow because I'm trying to get in touch with the person who wrote the article to see if we can get him on tomorrow. This thing about the stolen valor and the abandoning his goodness gracious, his platoon before they were sent out into Iraq, and I know I'm butchering that, but I'm trying to get someone to come on the air about that tomorrow. But there's so much about that that's so disgusting, and my wife is like sitting there baffled. I didn't even get into the DUI thing where he was 96 in a 55, and he lied to the officer who pulled him over by pretending to be deaf. I didn't even bring that up yet. This guy is a winner. I mean, you couldn't get worse than this guy. I'm telling you.
Obviously, no one in Connecticut cares about stolen valor because we still have Blumenthal.
Hey, you know what? Nothing was funnier than hearing Blumenthal endorse him. I'm just going, yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Thank you, man. KB says, as an AG and California's top cop, Kamala Harris failed it. And then she incarcerated more black men than any other attorney general in the state's history, which they're trying to scrub, KB. They're trying to scrub that ever happened. But like I said, that's her whole, her whole spiel. Is like now she's for the commoner. Now she's for, now she's black. Okay, whatever. Let's go to Mark in Massachusetts. What part of Massachusetts, Mark? Where are we at?
Bounce. You got Rick, Ralph, Tim.
Okay, why not? Let's go to Tim. Hello, Tim is in Hamden. Hello. Oh, Tim's on his cell phone. I'm sorry. Which Tim is this? Is it a different Tim altogether?
Yeah, I've never called before. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure, Tim. Thank you. Welcome aboard. How can I help you today, sir?
Well, I just wanted to bring something up. So I've been a plumber for over 20 years, and we've been energizing people's houses, making them more efficient, new light bulbs. Well, we don't do the light bulbs, but everything's supposed to be. Why are we using so much power? Why do the rates go up?
you know what, Tim, you said this is so incredible what you're talking about. When I was telling the story at the beginning of the break about the Brooklyn neighborhood in Brooklyn, when they were telling everybody conserve water, and then they got their bill after a year and the bill went up and they were like, what's going on? Well, here's an interesting thing. So Chicago did the same thing. They told everybody when they were getting rid of the light bulb. Remember the regular incandescent light bulb? They were getting rid of it. So they told everyone that you had to get this new light bulb, right, that would last forever. And what they did was, the energy company did something remarkable. I never thought they would have done it, but people in Chicago were very happy about it. The energy company went to every doorstep and gave them 2 of the new light bulbs that they would have to use, that they would be required to use. And people were like, oh, great, blah, 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 blah. And so they get the light bulbs. After that, when you couldn't buy the old light bulbs anymore, people went to go buy the new ones that they had to mandate for them to use. Each light bulb was $13 a blip. $13. And people were like, what the hell's going on? Wait a minute. We have to use these new light bulbs. We can't go to the other ones that are just like 89 cents. We have to buy a $13 light bulb. And that's when everybody knew we've been had. We've totally been had. And this is another case where you're telling all these people to be energy efficient. You tell them to buy the new, the new air conditioner. Make sure it's got that Energy Plus thing or whatever. I can't even remember what the darn name of it is. Energy Star. You have to buy those things, the Energy Star refrigerator and all that stuff. And all of this is going to save you energy. To only see your bill go up is incredible.
Right. LED light bulbs, everything is more efficient nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
The rate should be going down. We should be using less power.
And we're not. And again, remember what Obama said back in, I want to say 2009. He said that, in essence, he believed that we needed to get rid of fossil fuels. And, he was a part of that whole Green New Deal idea way before it was popular. But he said naturally energy costs are going to skyrocket. He knew that, but he could never get that passed because the American people would never stand for any legislation that would cost them more money to do something as basic as turn on a light bulb. Just nobody would.
Not. And, maybe I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I mean, it almost feels like somebody was part of this. It may be an Eversource, I don't know, but it's coming where they're making us pay for it. They're just getting us ready for more socialism.
Yeah, exactly.
Take a little bit more, people get used to it, and then when the big thing comes, well, everybody pays for everybody.
The bottom line, Tim, that I find amazing about this is that, if there's one way you can get people to vote different is to attack their pocketbooks, man. You know what I mean? That's that is the fact that people don't recognize that they don't realize if you want to get the masses turned against you, keep costing them more to go to the store, buy gas, or just to live. And people will completely forget their ideology and go, I'm sorry, man, but today, I want it to be, forget about the Green New Deal. I don't care about climate change. It's the reason why it's always ranked number 7 on the top 10 list of issues. Right? The reason why it's always ranked so low is because people recognize whatever this fantasy is that they want is going to cost them through the teeth. It's going to cost them way too much money for them to sustain. So they would rather live today where it doesn't cost that much and let the future deal with it. But you can't hit people in the pocket and expect them to adhere. You can't do it.
Nope. Doesn't work that way.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you calling, man, if it is the first time, but I hope you'll call back. All right, we'll get into more news and more views and more on this topic with so many other calls that are on hold. So please be patient with me while we go to the BPS Traffic Center with our good friend Mark Christopher. Mark, do you have the what do you call it? Did you make a run on those incandescent light bulbs? I can't say the word. Did you make a run on those?
No, I'm all LED over here.
I remember when they were finally going out and people were running to Home Depot and Lowe's and getting all the ones that people were coming with shopping cart fulls of them before they went nuts.
No, everything over here is LED. And I do have solar panels.
You do?
And yeah.
Okay.
We're about 3.5 years into them. Love them. But I'm afraid of the bill because throughout the year, I make more electricity until we get into July, August.
But see,
and then
that's
all the extra electricity is used up for the central air. So now I've used up all my credit. Now I'm going to get hit with a big bill this
See,
month.
that's
I
the
have
point.
No idea what's coming.
That's the point that I'm making. If you do something like this, I'm saying take the Mayor Bloomberg approach. When he had New York stop smoking indoors, he did it in May of 2003 when it's nice outside.
Right.
Right?
So people can get used to it.
Exactly. If you're going to hit somebody in the pocket, do it when the energy cost is already low.
Right.
They did it now, July 1st? Like, you can't do that then.
That's going to be, these are the two most expensive months of the year, obviously.
Indeed, indeed. Especially in Connecticut. I mean, it's hot everywhere.
Well, as people have said, our legislature, our compassionate legislature, always looking out for us, and we're going to get burned again. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moves well, Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge into the area of 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound, you're slowing again, approaching 40.
Beckman, I just bought razor blades the other day. 5 Gillette razor blades for $40. Damn it, that's a West Coast thing. I don't spend that much.
If you're traveling 84 eastbound in Danbury, you got some slow traffic between 3 and 5. South 95 in, let's see, that would be Brantford. You got slow traffic 56 to 54. And again, from 46 to 44 in New Haven. 91 southbound delays 3 in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
And now, a WTIC news update.
And that WTIC Weather Center forecast calling for periods of rain, thunderstorm tonight in the low 60s, and then some more rain early tomorrow with a high near 70. 71 right now in Hartford. Tim Walz, the choice for Vice President Harris as her running mate. Harris making the announcement earlier today that the 60-year-old Minnesota governor will be the number 2 on the Democratic ticket. The two are about to hold a rally in Philadelphia and then hit the road on a barnstorming blitz across 7 battleground states. Reaction from the Republican ticket, GOP vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance called Walz a choice that, quote, highlights how radical Kamala Harris is. State police are looking for suspects who ditched thousands of dollars on an eastern Connecticut highway during a pursuit. The person spotted tampering with an ATM on an I-395 service area Monday morning. The suspect was also seen peeking into parked vehicles. He later took off across the highway into a black BMW SUV. Several items were tossed from the vehicle during a pursuit, including a backpack with $52,000 in cash. Meriden police have made an arrest in a shooting from 5 years ago. It was August 5th of 2019. That officers say 28-year-old Traquan Ford allegedly shot up a vehicle on Gravel Street. The person inside was not injured. Ford's already behind bars on an unrelated firearms charge. Man is charged with dragging a person whose car he tried to steal in Manchester. This happened last month at a fast food restaurant on Pleasant Valley Road. Victim noticed what was happening, tried to intervene. That person sustained injuries, and now Benjamin Ingram is facing charges. Tropical storm Debbie has brought prolonged downpours to the southeastern U.S., could hover over the Atlantic for the next few days and impact our weather by week's end. Wall Street, the Dow up 294 points, NASDAQ up 166, S&P gained 53. Red Sox and KC, Game 2 of a 3-game series tonight, 7:10 the pregame here on WTIC. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HAYMOND and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Haymond is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HAYMOND.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, he wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What if I told you
minute.
are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit Legacy Box.
And 10 coming in right after the drop.
$9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Everybody, please make sure you stay on the lines. I know I've got Ralph, Janice, and Rick, and if you want to call, please do join us at least for the last break of the 5 o'clock focus. Tomorrow we'll spend a little more time on the conversation we were having earlier about Tim Walz as more and more information comes out about that campaign, the Kamala Harris campaign, and more evidence. I'm going to lay out this evidence tomorrow of why I think that this is a sabotage happening to this campaign. And I think it's wild that this is going on. It just is. I want to talk about real quick, before we go to break, Allison Cross of the Hartford Courant was on yesterday talking about schools. And this this online racism and online bullying that's happening in schools across the country. And I want to talk to parents, but not necessarily. If you've got a kid in high school, particularly in high school, specifically in high school, that you could monitor if they could call up the show tomorrow. And I want to say about the 4 o'clock hour. If you could have your teenager who's in high school, and I know it's only anecdotal at best, but I want to talk to them to sort of get a ground floor breakdown of what's happening with online bullying and this racism that's being sort of expressed in the Hartford Courant article by Allison Cross. And like I said, I will not use this as anything other than anecdotal, but I kind of want to hear from the people. I almost feel like this conversation always talks around the kids who are involved in it. And if you have a teenager who's maybe they've experienced some of this, maybe they are, they've seen this happening in the class, and they'll be able to tell me, if not the audience, whether or not this is malicious. I described it as, my stepson, and I hate calling him that because he's like my own son. But Ellis talks about this a lot. He says, sure, there's a lot of racial commentary that happens in class. People will use it jokingly. And he says, look, it's probably, you couldn't do it in polite company. People would frown on that. But the kids talk that way to each other jokingly. And it's never taken out in malice. It's never taken as malice. So, and they seem to joke around and they have fun with it. Now, do I think it's productive? Probably not. But we've all dealt with kids who do this and say things about it. It's like doing the dozens. Your mother's so fat, that kind of stuff. So if you have a teenager in high school and you can have them call in to sort of give us a ground floor view of what's happening in the high schools that sort of either understands or maybe discredits or discounts some of the reporting in the Allison Cross article, I'd love to hear from you. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. With that, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, pretty good ride. Westbound 84, just a little tight. Bulkley Bridge into the tunnel. Eastbound 84, that moves well now from Farmington out into Burnham. If you're traveling southbound 91, a little slow in Hartford at 33 Jennings Road. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, no issues east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Heading toward Middletown, you're okay 9 in the Arcody Bridge. Waterbury slightly slow 84 eastbound by exit 18. If you are traveling into New Haven, Southbound 95, you'll see some slow traffic in Brantford, 56 to 54. Again, from 46 in New Haven down to 44. 91 southbound delays in New Haven from 3 in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, we got a flood watch in effect for many of our southern counties along the south shore of Connecticut here as we head through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. That flood watch is good until noontime on our Wednesday. Over this evening and overnight, humid with periods of rain and a thunderstorm. The low down to 62. Then a little morning rain on our Wednesday, otherwise cloudy and quite a bit cooler than we've been used to, the high of 71. Thursday, variably cloudy. There'll be a shower in the area, slightly milder, the high up to 75. Friday, humid with periods of rain. Some of that rain will be quite heavy at times. A thunderstorm as well as the remnants of Debbie make their way up the coast. Again, there could be some flooding as we head through Friday and Saturday, as it'll be windy with periods of rain on Saturday as the remnants of the tropical rainstorm move through. Humid day with the high of 80. Then sunny to partly cloudy on our Sunday, less humid, the high of 82. So pretty nice day to round out the weekend. Currently, Waterbury at 72, New London also 72, and it's 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Paid for by government.
1 minute.
Secret hoard of 1904 $20.
No, that is Janice first, then Mike just called.
1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3077. Call now, and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every...
And
1-800-973-3077 now to secure your 1904p $20 gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3077.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, we're about to get up out of here. I miss it every day. As soon as it's over, I come down and just go, oh, I could have done another hour. It's Reese on the Radio. To the phones we go before we wrap this up. Janice is in Stratford. Hello, Janice. You're on Reese on the Radio on the Tom Feinberg Show. Hello, ma'am.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
My
I'm
pleasure.
from. I would just like to mention that my bill alone for benefits, public benefits, are $77.69.
Wow.
I'm a retired senior.
Wow.
And I will tell you another thing. My sister had open heart surgery, and she's on a hardship program, and they're charging her, too, for the benefits.
So
anybody that's on a hardship
right
is still getting the cost of the public benefits.
So, okay, help me understand what you're saying. So, in essence, if you're still in a hardship situation, you're still having your electric bills covered. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they pay so much every month because they have a hardship. In my sister's case, she had open heart surgery, but she's still getting penalized for public benefits on her bill.
Really?
And I think it was something like $15.
Okay, so they're even right in this case. So in essence, they're fleecing everybody. Everyone's being gouged,
Everybody,
no matter
veterans, retirees, seniors, anybody. And you know what? I think they passed this in the middle of the night, and they snuck this in on us.
Yeah.
There is a website out there called change.org.
Yeah.
And there's a petition going around. If people will please look that up, it's under the governor and Pura.
Yes.
And please sign that petition.
Now, what are they asking for in the change.gov website? Do you know offhand, or
they're asking for signatures? Okay. I know the last time I heard they had like 12,000. They're looking for 15, I believe.
Okay. Well, they'll definitely get that. So, but the change.org in essence is, I mean, what's the ask, so to speak? Like, are they trying to get Governor Lamont to step in or to sort of alleviate this cost on the Connecticut citizens? What are they what are they asking for? Are they asking them to sort of like get rid of this cost to the consumer?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course, because this is all too much for all of us here.
Oh, I mean, I think it's incredibly, to be honest with you, I think part of it is ridiculously cruel because it's the time in which they choose to do it when everyone definitely needs the energy usage anyway. It's hot. Air conditioners are on all night. It is, it's probably one of the I would say it is. It's the highest energy use of any time throughout the year, with the exception of the extreme cold. So
now I've called family, I've called friends to see how much theirs was, and it's nowhere near what mine is. And yes, I'm running my air conditioner for me and my family.
Yeah, well, look,
and I pay for that.
Some people
I worked
need to
all my life.
Yeah, some people need to.
But $77 more, that's like paying somebody else's whole bill.
Yeah, and you're right. Indeed, $77. Again, look, everyone's bill, as it were, or everyone's cost, for that matter, is, it's incidental to everyone's looking at this as a broad thing. It's not broad. Every individual has a certain cost overrun that will affect their lives in a detrimental way. People may look at it like it's only $77. That's $77, unfortunately, can be the difference between you having a home that's electrified versus you being out on the street. I mean, it is.
Exactly. But if I don't pay that, they're going to shut me off.
Yeah. And then
They'll shut me off.
Right.
But I'm paying for somebody else. Does that make any sense to you?
No, absolutely not. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Look, like I said, something's got to give on this one. Legislators talking about, passing bills and all that other stuff. What are they going to do now? Because someone's talking about they're going to see this for the next 10 months. Joe in Simsbury said that there's no end in sight. So if this is
it's going to be the 10 more months, I heard. 10 more months of this.
That's what I heard. But Joe in Simsbury is saying that there's no end in sight. That according to what
there might be, but the rumor is 10 more months.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. That, like I said, I heard that before Joe in Simsbury called and said that according to his research, they don't have any end in sight. In fact, he talked to a woman at Eversource about just that, and she says, no, there's no end in sight.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful for all of us. They say they're taking care of the veterans. How are they taking care of veterans?
This is a mess.
You can't even afford to retire in this state, let alone taking care of veterans or the seniors here. Yeah. We should have a break.
Somebody should.
We should have a break. Not all this added stuff. And people that I've called didn't even notice about this. Oh, my wife takes care of the bill. Oh, this one takes care of the bill. I never noticed it.
Yeah.
But when you bring it up, now they're all going crazy.
Yeah. And thank God for the news media for bringing it up, because actually it was a bunch of very angry citizens who called the news asking about what is this charge. And then thankfully people in the news media started talking about it. And now everybody in government is scrambling to try to figure out what they're going to do about it. They all knew this was coming.
Listen, where's Tong now? He's always talking about the utility company on the TVs. Where is he now? They're all in hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
They're all in hiding because they know what they did to us.
Yep. You're absolutely right, Janice.
They snuck this in on us, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
And I am very upset about it.
And you should, Janice, as you should be. And like I said, someone is going to talk about this or at least remedy this in the next coming days, if not weeks. But I just want to know what the plan is. And Lamont's got to step up and come up with a solution, because people are outraged, as they should be, but this cannot be fixed with a bunch of platitudes. This is too serious. It's too serious, especially now. It's too serious. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate the call. Rick is in Cheshire. Is he still online? Rick, you there?
No, nobody's.
We lost everybody. Okay, not a problem. That's okay. That's, I do what I do. No biggie. I know that it's hard sometimes for you to stay on hold, so please forgive me. But don't worry, we'll do this again tomorrow. I want to go back to what I said before the last break. Allison Cross was here from the Hartford Courant yesterday talking about an article she wrote on Sunday about this epidemic of, racism, according to officials, happening in the school system. And this is, of course, associated with bullying. And I want to ask if parents will at least allow, maybe even talk to your kids about what they're seeing inside their classrooms or in the hallways of their high schools, if they are seeing exactly what's being expressed in this article. I believe this is being inflated. Okay? Not that I'm saying that kids don't do racial things. Kids do. It's an easy target. It's low-hanging fruit for a kid. When we were kids, we would say, kid from Africa, we would make a comment about. That's what kids do, right? It's not even bullying. It's saying something that would be otherwise, well, I guess today it would be seen as bullying because you're making a joke. We would call it cracking jokes. We would call it, busting up, Other people would call it the dozens. People do that all the time. You see it everywhere. Guys making fun of each other, and usually it's in usually unseemly ways, because friends do that. And when you care about your friends, you can say things that you normally wouldn't say anywhere else. So I know that there are a lot of sensitive people in the news media. I know there's a lot of sensitive people in government. There's a lot of sensitive people in the school board. They're walking down the street or walking through the hallways, and they hear some kid say something absolutely reprehensible, and the teacher were like, what did you say? And the kids are sitting there like, everyone's looking like, hey, what's the problem here? I was like, you shouldn't say that to that person. And then that becomes an ordeal, and then it's an incident. Not taking into account that one kid wasn't offended, or the kid said, that's the way we joke. We don't joke like that. And then it becomes, it's DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3. That's how that goes. And again, it's not like I'm playing it down. I'm not trying to downplay the fact that there are actual racist situations happening in the class. The two girls from Cromwell, that's evident. You spit on a person, you're beyond, okay? That right there, that's criminal. The fact that no one's been arrested for it baffles me. But, excuse me. The fact that no one's been arrested for it baffles me, and still no one's even talking about it on that level. I do understand that Matt Caron of Fox 61 put in a FOIA request at the Cromwell schools, and we don't even know the background of that, whether or not the FOIA request has been granted. We still don't know, because there's no follow-up, which I find odd. So to me, it's not so much that I'm saying all of it is overblown. I'm saying I want to hear from the people that no one's talking to. And again, this is probably my mantra. It's probably the one thing that I repeat over and over again. You have bureaucrats and others talking about solving a problem without ever asking the people they're trying to solve the problem for. Right? Solve homelessness, never talk to the homeless. Education, never talk to the kids getting the education. Why are you not showing up at school? Why are you truant? Why do we have an absentee problem with you? Why are you not passing math? Why are you not passing reading? People make these, blanket statements. It's because the parents aren't involved. You don't know that. There could clearly be a simple solution for that one child that could solve it all. But if you deal it like, it's everybody having the same issue, you're never going to solve the problem. So this is another case of that. So if you, again, like I said, if you have a kid who's in high school, who's experienced some of this, joshing, there's so many words for it, joshing, teasing, dozens, all that stuff, that believes that this is a little heavy-handed of the news media and everyone else, I'd like to hear from them. So hopefully they'll call up and talk about that. Also, I want to thank Ken from the New England for Trump store. Get his applause in there. Over at 154 Talcottville Road. He said he did great, and people are still streaming into there. So if you're interested in buying some Trump gear, I am a large. Just to let you know that. T-shirt wise, I'm a large. If you're thinking of getting me something, I'm just saying, I'm size large in T-shirts. I love T-shirts. You guys know me. I love T-shirts. Always, of course, remember to check out ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. This was the clip I wanted to play earlier. I just realized I hadn't played it for you. Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, vice presidential pick for Kamala Harris. This is what he did to that city during the Black Lives Matter riots after the death of George Floyd. This is a resident there talking to the local Channel 5 ABC News. The next day, after the town was obliterated, destroyed, dismantled by rioters. Listen to this woman.
How was last night?
Scary. I live in the high-rise right back here, and I seen them as they came down Lake Street. But then they turned and started coming over here, and I'm sitting out looking out my window. And they went straight to Office Max, the dollar store, and every store over here that I go to. I have nowhere to go now. I have no way to get there because the buses aren't running. These people did this for no reason. It's not going to bring George back here. George is in a better place than we are. And last night, I'm going to be honest, I wish I was where George was because this is ridiculous. These people are tearing up our livelihood. This is the only place I could go to shop. And now I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to get there.
Governor Tim Walz. He was the guy who said that, you had to give them what they wanted. This is him at the press conference.
A society that does not put equity and inclusion at the center of it is certainly going to eventually come to the places where we're at. This is a moment of inflection. It's a moment of real change. It's a moment that those folks who are out there demanding this are not going to take a commission or a report. They're going to want fundamental change. And that is what I think that's one of the exciting things in the midst of all this. You can feel a sense of optimism coming back.
After they destroyed his city. After they destroyed his city, he capitulated to the mob. That poor woman. It's a mess, folks. It's a mess. Nobody could possibly think these two are a winning combo. Not after that. Not after that. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. He is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, Reese. Have a great night. Your grandmother had great advice. Really. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, we're doing great. 84, both directions.
All right, good sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of
Another
fun.
great show.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate
Two
that.
eastbound looks real good.
All right, let's do it again tomorrow. See you then.
Yes, sir.
All right.
In Middletown, 9 in the Aragodi Bridge. Waterbury's checking out okay. 84 and 8. 84 eastbound, a little slow by exit 3 in Danbury. If you're heading toward New Haven, 95 southbound, look for delays 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out in the chat room, of course. Everybody who is there. KB, cross the Canadian border, then come back illegally and claim asylum. Get food, money, spending money, phone. Thank you, sir. I really, really appreciate it. Yes, and it is. I love the fact that you take a 2-hour break with me, KB. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Michael A. And you guys all be good. I will see you here tomorrow. John Beckman, stop paying $40 for razors. There's a cheaper way, I promise. All right, I love you guys. Be good.